Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
We did it. I still can't believe we got this project done so fast and so well.
When I'm in New York.
I'm in Chicago.
And I'm in LA.
But
we're making it happen in Miro.
Together.
Our best work just happens faster on Miro's collaborative online whiteboard. No more scheduling meeting after meeting for work that could happen
from anywhere. Whether it's getting design feedback here,
mapping timelines here,
or brainstorming next steps here. It all just happens on the Miro board.
Exactly. And it's nice not having to wait an entire day to get sign-off from this guy.
Hey! Well, it is true.
See how Miro users save up to 80 hours every year by meeting less and doing more. Get on board at Miro.com. The first 3 boards are free forever. That's MIRO.com.
Getting the exposure to grow your small wedding business can be difficult. With millions of engaged couples using The Knot to plan their weddings and find vendors, advertising on our sites will connect you with more couples than anywhere else online. Meet engaged couples where they're already searching for vendors like you. And let us deliver leads to help you grow your business. Visit vendors.thenot.com/podcast to sign up today. Mention code podcast15 during your free onboarding session for 15% off your first month.
Now you can join Planet Fitness and get the PF Black Card for 0 enrollment, $24.99 a month, and get all the perks.
I love perks.
Do you love having access to 2,000 plus locations?
Yes.
Bringing a friend every time?
#friend goals.
And recovering with massage chairs?
Who doesn't?
Get the PF Black Card and feel spectacular. 0 enrollment, $24.99 a month.
Limited time flash sale. Get the PF Black Card for only 0 down, $24.99 a month, now through April 20th.
See Club for details.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Welcome to Gen Exhausted. I'm Chris.
I'm Rich.
I'm Jess.
And it was Easter this week. Yay! I posted the Bill Hicks clip once again. It's been a few years. That it is one of the first things I started kind of unraveling, at least my personal journey with religion, because he makes the point of we celebrate the death and resurrection of the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ by telling our children a giant bunny rabbit came in the night and left them chocolate eggs.
Yeah, that's just absorbing pagan traditions.
Makes sense.
So kind of like Patrice O'Neal's
with the Christmas tree.
Nailing a Jewish man to a cross, rabbit in the night bringing candy. You know,
I like Patrice O'Neal's take on it. He's like, Mommy, why are we hunting for painted Easter eggs? Well, you see, honey, the Romans and the Jews got together and fucked Jesus up. And so now we hide eggs. And happy Easter, baby.
Yeah.
It's just
also an acceptable definition.
I mean, it's like, and that's when he goes into in America, we celebrate horrendous shit. He's like, and we don't celebrate anything good. Mother's Day, you don't get the day off. I don't care how much you love that bitch. You better call that bitch on your break.
Right? Yeah. If you work at food service, yeah, that ain't the bank.
What? Someone beat her ass? Did she die? Motherfucker, you better be at work. I don't care how much you love that hoe. Yeah. But no. Easter comes, Easter goes. Whatever your memories of Easter 2023 is going to be, the internet decides it's going to be trans Bud Light cans, which are conflated with gay and drag cans somehow. But whatever, y'all fucking made that bed where y'all are under that big ass LGBTQIA bullshit. So you live by that sword, die by it. And Kid Rock shooting the cans and people losing their fucking minds, people on the left losing their minds like they weren't just threatening to kill people over a fucking Harry Potter video game less than 2 months ago, and people on the right acting like they've never been like just completely offended at the idea, the very thought behind the concept of cancel culture going, let's cancel everything we don't like. And I'm going, yep, okay.
Trust me, I'm going to shit on both sides of this all conversation, but I understand the feathers being ruffled, but I don't understand them being ruffled so much over a can. Isn't it one can that they made for Dylan Mulvaney for her to put on social media?
I don't know.
Like, they're not selling them. Like, they made it for her. They sent it to her for her to put it on social media because she's got a huge social media following, and like that's it. Like, this is over a can or a 6-pack, I believe.
Hold on, because I don't know. I'm going to double check something, but yeah, dude, you know it ain't over a can, a 6-pack. It's never over what the fuck they say it is. We live in a fucking hell world where everything is fucking subtext and dog whistle. Why? Because they've insisted that everything's that way, so they've made everything that way.
So
come on, dude.
You cannot buy the can with Dylan Mulvaney's face on it, but the company announced an upcoming line of Pride-themed cans featuring different pronouns.
See, now that is not knowing your audience. Like that. See, now I'll shit on the other side of the issue. Now I'm with Kid Rock. Like, that is not knowing. Like, when I first heard this, I was like, are you insane? Like, do you not know? Like, and they're like, oh, well, they're trying to get the argument. They're just trying to sell beer. I'm like, really? Do you really have to market beer to 18 to 24-year-olds? Like, you like, that's like, I find that argument kind of insulting, really. Like, but that's just me. But and this does reek of like, hey, you already bought that and you're destroying it. Like the idiots who were setting their Jordans on fire or whatever.
Yes. Y'all have kind of come along with me on the journey of just like my whole thought process deconstructing around voting and, being able to put your voice matters. No, it doesn't. But I have found that the thing that matters to me, and I'm sure I've said it before somewhere on the show, that I have one thing I can vote with, and that's my dollar. And I am really, I am trying to be really mindful about where I spend my money now, because I don't want to support this agenda. I don't like it. I don't want to support it. I feel like it's too far at this point. It's gone too damn far. And I wouldn't care, and I didn't care until it started bringing kids into it. Now that kids are brought into it, now that it's all, the whole fight for kids at drag shows and all of that, now I'm like, no, sorry, I don't support this at all anymore. You took it too far.
That just came to my brainium. Still Mulvaney able to drink?
How old?
I mean, gotta be right. They sent they sent her alcohol.
26.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to, because I went influencer, right? I'm like, wait, is this person old enough? Like, is this a teenager?
Yeah, they are 26 years old.
I mean, my friends are Coors drinkers and homophobic. I mean, so this has just been fodder for just a week. Like, I mean, starters for me, like, oh, hey, I always thought Bud Light was gay. Like, I mean,
Have they not seen all the Coors stuff though?
Oh, well, they don't get out much, but just be careful. We were at a golf meeting. Be careful saying the word partner. Oh, gee, that just brought up. Oh, hey, you drinking Bud Light? So I mean, this is just. I think just from a business standpoint, like you are. This is like the Dixie Chicks in 2000, whatever, saying they were ashamed the president was from Texas. Like, do you know how you get your money?
Right. No, it's Bud Light is the water of the rednecks.
I mean, Rich, when we were coming up, is the frat boy brew, right? That's what it was for me, at least.
Bud Light is Little Caesars of beer.
Yeah.
Like, you hungry? Do you have a little bit of money? Then go to Little Caesars. All right. Do you want to get drunk? You have a little bit of money? Then go buy a fuck ton of Bud Light. Drink probably at least 2.5 times what you would drink if you were drinking a real beer to get just as drunk. And yeah, I mean, it's like, I know that there's somebody who has like Bud Light or Budweiser logo tattooed on their body or something, but I don't know anyone who stands for Bud Light. I don't know anyone who's like, that's my brand. That's what I do. I drink Bud Light all day.
Come on down south. Come on.
I said I knew my share back in the day, but to me, at least back in the day, if you had a white hat on, you had your tucked in flannel shirt from the Gap into your Dockers, you were drinking Bud Light. But I also know very very, very, very blue collar guys, dude, is Bud or Budweiser. I mean, it was generally more the king of beers, the red and white can.
I mean, I don't know, man. You know what Bud Light is? Bud Light to me is going into a restaurant where you don't know what they serve and going, I'll take a Coke.
Yes, I would agree.
And why I say that is, it is the safest thing to order in any bar. Bud or Bud Light. I will literally say Bud Light, doesn't care. Yeah. And if it's a bartender who's has half a brain, or maybe gives a fuck a little bit, they'll be like, we have XXXXXX, on tap as well. Oh, really? Well, then fuck it. Give me the Killians then. Same price then. Shit, yeah, I'll take a Killian. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like if the selection is poor, yeah, dude, I go, give me the full bullet. Give me the Budweiser. Yeah, like, cause I know what I'm getting.
Yeah, I mean, I can walk into a bar. I haven't had a drink in over a year and a half. I haven't been in a bar to drink in a long time. And I could probably walk into a bar and guesstimate how much a Bud Light's going to cost. You know what I'm saying? It's that's what it is. It's the easy beer to drink.
It's tailgate beer.
Yeah, and it's cheap, it's easy, it's everywhere. And I mean, like, this whole thing is just, we've talked about it before. It's not these aren't sexy facts, but these are bigger facts to marketing and advertising and boardrooms than they are to us, but they're not the ones that get us to pay attention. They're going after single income, no kids, dual income, no kids, quote unquote, the gay people, the alphabet mob, whatever the fuck you want to call it. They're going after them because they got fucking disposable income. This is not hard to figure out. And I mean, it's been said, I don't know if it's true, but I can't find the report. But I mean, to be honest with you, it's not like I'm doing fucking a thorough search of the internet. But, dude, I think you and I both know well enough to know that this isn't an accident. Bud wasn't like, oh, we're going to piss off a lot of people. Oh, we're shocked by that. No, they knew exactly what they were doing when they did this. Somebody's an idiot. You've said it a billion times. Well, excuse me. You've said it hundreds of times over the almost decade we've been doing this shit. You don't have to be smart to run a business or own one.
No.
Here's an example.
To run one successfully.
Well, how much has the sales dropped since in the last
30%.
12 days? 12 days. 30%. You've lost 30% of your business. The only thing that's probably going to like really make it easy for Anheuser-Busch to absorb this is they sell so much shit that people are too fucking lazy or stupid to go look up. You really want to boycott Anheuser-Busch?
It's like
we'll be there for a while.
Yeah,
we'll be there.
But it's a limited experience, I guess. But in my experiences with going out and drinking with gay people, like beer is like not on the list. Like, or it is far down the list, I should say. I feel Anheuser-Busch has other product lines, like if they're trying to get the alphabet people to buy, like, oh, like this, is my advertising brain now becoming...
The White Claw, the Bud Light spritzers or whatever the fuck.
The hot shit for the last 2 years is cocktails in a can, which I was like, where the fuck were you 20 years ago? Like, but that's beside the point.
That's the shit I was trying to think of. Cocktails in a can, shit like that. Yeah. I mean, dude, it's to the point, excuse me. It's to the point where dudes, guys in their 20s, wearing the dude uniform of the, for their time period, walk around drinking White Claws, no shame. Don't worry about being called, what's up with the foo-foo drink. None of that shit.
I was on this podcast. I will admit it in front of both of you. That last summer, I discovered the vodka and soda in a can. I love it. You know why? Because I can drink them all fucking day and spring out of bed the next morning.
Yeah, and it honestly, I don't know, probably my guess, a little bit more refreshing. Also, by the way, a lot of times in a lot of parts of the country where you get those like supposedly hard liquor in a can or shots, that's malt liquor. It's not real hard liquor. Look at your shots of Fireball. Didn't we talk about that on the show? That Fireball was getting sued? Yeah. Because they're like, it's malt liquor is what it is. I'm like, so I'm drinking St. Ides, and you charging Fireball prices? Fuck you, motherfucker.
Well, now you can get them at 7-Eleven. Like you can get a brick of 10 for like $10. They at least know what they are.
It's like, it's basically a 40 ounce for $10.
Well, I don't know. That's 40 shots.
But it's malt liquor. It's the same thing as drinking like high test fucking St. Ides or something.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, I don't know. I don't. I don't fuck with Fireball, but I've had buddies that drink them, and they're like, even well before it came out that shit is not real hard liquor, they were like, it doesn't taste the same. I mean, no one beat it. You know, they didn't do a Pepsi challenge fucking with it, but these are people I trust their opinion on drinking. Not much else, but on drinking, yeah, I trust their opinion on that. But no, look, there's a lot of fucking mistakes and missteps being made in the business community as far as, we're hedging our bets on this is going to be our fucking fan base and our consumer base of the future. I don't think so. I really don't. I mean, we've talked about it before. Marvel, anything Disney owns that's not Disney properties, anything they bought like Marvel or Lucasfilm and all the fucking IPs that come with Lucasfilm, they're trying to like bring in the little girl demographic. So they're fucking, we don't care. We got the boys and we got the old men who love nostalgia and all that shit. We want the girls. We want the girls that are going to grow up to be women who are going to be nostalgic over this shit and introduce their daughters to it because we want it all. That's all. It's really all this shit is. It's just looking for new ways to keep the income coming in as much as possible. And I mean, from a business standpoint, completely amoral. Do not give a fuck about how much hate and discontent you sow with your practices to make a couple extra pennies. It works.
And if we're going to go on things I've been screaming for 9 years, again, everybody, they don't care about you or believe in the bullshit you think they believe in. They're telling you what their market research has told them to tell you.
They need to find someone else to do their market research, because this was a swing and a miss.
I mean, now I'll stick up for that and say if they're going for the younger end, if they're going through 18 to 24, which, it's alcohol. I know they're not supposed to be going for, let's cut the bullshit. We know they do. All right. They're going for those they're going for the college age, right? Or at least the 18 to 34s. Like that's probably what those fuck faces want to hear.
I'll tell you this. There's something that I didn't realize, probably because I don't really hang out with a lot of like Zoomer age people, but especially Zoomer age people seem like, I mean, this is a generalization, of course. They seem to see whether trans men and women and non-binary people, they tend to believe that that's a political thing. It's not a biological, it's not a nature, it's not a science thing, it's a political thing. If you're a boomer and right-winger, you only believe in male and females. And that trans men and women, you don't believe that they are real men and women. And if you're young and, whatever, then somewhere not on the right, you believe in all the fucking gender ideology bullshit. And I'm just like, that's a genius thing to tie all that gender ideology horse shit to, is generational fucking animosity. That is genius right there. I mean, it's straight evil genius, but it is fucking genius.
Some may call it diabolical, but yeah.
And here's the deal. I had a conversation with a friend that not a conversation, an exchange with a friend this week that I trust his opinion on a lot of things. And I basically came to the conclusion, I'm like, I don't understand. Okay, if nothing that people like me say or does makes any difference, why the fuck should I care? Why shouldn't I just do what everyone else around me seems to do and just go, how can I make my life easier for me? That's it. Well, you have to be an ally. No, I don't. I don't have to be your ally. I don't have to affirm your identity. I just have to, in your own words, tolerate. Because that's what we've been preaching for decades, tolerance. So, I don't know. Maybe start tolerating these people, and instead of fucking basically pandering and kowtowing and fucking acquiescing to their bullshit. Just saying.
I mean, if you want to be like everybody else, be prepared for everyone else to be apathetic to your existence, because that is being everybody else.
We know at this point the people still fucking screaming and hollering and throwing temper tantrums and saying, look at me. This ain't about fucking wanting to be themselves. This is about look at me attention. And the problem is that, once again, people who genuinely have gender issues, they've been, their entire fucking movement has been co-opted by these crazies. And you know what? I have no sympathy for them, because you let it happen. I now know how right-wingers feel about Bill Maher. They're like, dude, we don't care that you're now bitching about shit that we've been bitching about for the last 5 years. You fucking helped usher this shit in. You reap what you sow. I mean, I kind of, that's my take on it. As far as what Jess said about you can only vote with your dollar, sure, as long as you understand this. You not buying something makes you feel better about the situation. You are not going to change anything on your own. So if 100,000 other people do the same thing as you, maybe you can affect some change. But I mean, people need to understand that just be, well, the reason I say that is because people somehow think posting something with a hashtag is being an activist these days. So not buying shit. I'm an activist. I'm doing something. No, not really. You're making yourself feel better. I mean, I guess if you're part of the org, just really, unless you're organizing and you're part of it, then I'd say, yeah, I guess you have a hand in a bigger whatever.
There's just nothing else you can do. There's nothing you can do to affect any sort of change other than if you don't put your money here, they will not continue. And if enough people don't put their money here, then they're going to, it's like Chris talks about, they don't give a shit about you. They don't care about, it's not that Budweiser really cares about the trans community. That's not what it is. It's marketing research. They're trying to make more money. They try something, they make less money, they will stop trying it. That's my whole thing. And it's not just trans that I do that with. It's anything that I just stand firmly against. And I'm not saying I stand firmly against trans people, but I also don't think that it's this whole thing that needs to be crammed down our throats. And that's all this is now. You can't open a news page, you can't open social media. Everything is just trans. And it's an agenda. And I don't like it. And I'm not going to continue to, I'm going to take my 4 cents and I'm going to put them somewhere else instead of continuing to support this.
I mean, I understand. Don't get me wrong. Just because once again, just because I understand a concept, just because I can discuss a concept, just because I can empathize with people who I don't agree with, who look at the concept differently than me, doesn't mean I endorse it. I'm not advocating for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest here. People need to reset their expectations about shit. Oh, buy a whole fucking lot. And part of it is this, we're going to affect change by doing shit. No. What change have we really seen? What brought it about?
So what could you do to affect change?
I just asked. What real change have we seen?
Well, the trans community got loud.
Well, I mean, last 5 years. What real change have we seen? What brought it about?
Yep. Money.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's everything else. Follow the loot.
Even, and I said this back in January 2021, and I'm saying it now. Even the Summer Love 2.0 didn't scare them enough. And then, to be honest with you, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, the unwashed masses are mad enough to where they're actually going to riot and destroy their own neighborhood. Well, as long as it's their neighborhoods, we're insured. We don't care. You know what I'm saying? What really changed after that? A bunch of horse shit. How many major cities actually defunded the police after that fucking summer of protest and rioting?
Well, none, because all the people who pay the taxes went, are you fucking crazy?
Well, not only that, but when, actual journalists, people who do shit like unask themselves from the fucking computer chair they sit in and fucking, basically just rearrange an AP fucking
right
story and go, hey, that's an original story for me. Anyway, I guess the point is that people need to understand that if you're going to do something, just understand you do it for the righteous reason of you don't want to support it. Anything else, unless you're actively trying to make it like bring about change above and beyond, I'm just not going to support this company financially. Anything else that happens besides you feeling good about that, that's just gravy.
Oh, I mean, I don't think Budweiser's sitting back crying because I'm not purchasing.
Oh, collectively they might be crying here if this shit stays this way.
I'm saying like Memorial Day's in like a month. They'll be fine.
I mean,
there's a lot of other mediocre beer that people have to choose from.
No, but think about this. Just think about what was hot on March 12th. I'm just talking about our collective memory too. Like, what was the big shit on March 12th? Probably don't know, right? Because shit moves so fast. Like, let me look back in our shows and see what we were talking about a month ago, just we got a short memory is what I'm getting.
Well, then that just goes. I mean, I agree. We all, society, we have a short memory. Then that just goes to which side's going to fucking keep the flame stoked to keep this shit
exactly. Yeah,
going.
Who's going to keep it in the news? Yeah, a month ago we were talking about Tucker Carlson and his January 6th video, the Chris Rock Netflix special, International Women's Day,
which is funny because here you go, International Women's Day. That happened, that came and went, right?
Mm-hmm.
Amazingly, most of the stories that I've heard about International Women's Day, post International Women's Day, is about trans women or women plus. And I'm just like, wow, here's the thing. I'm not even a bitch, but if I was, I'd be kind of pissed off at this point.
Well, no, that's just, I was just about to bring up the same thing. Like, if you're like a real woman, ooh, yeah, I said it, real woman, like, how pissed are you about all of this shit that these people who aren't naturally one of you trying to horn in on all this work that you've done? Again, like,
no,
J.K. Rowling and Martina Navratilova brought it up, and they're fucking out of the lady club.
Well, it's anything, just me saying that I don't want to support Bud Light because I'm tired of the trans agenda being shoved down my throat. I immediately, anyone who would be listening to this from the other side, I am labeled. I am a transphobe. I am the worst. And you can't say that women need to, play in their own sports league and they shouldn't allow biological men or trans women to play on that league without it being an immediate problem. It's this massive, it's just a racing of what you just said, of everything women have worked for. It sucks. Like, I haven't accomplished anything special because I'm a girl, but if I had, I'm sure I'd feel much more impassioned about it, and I am impassioned about it.
And instead of teaching the lesson that it should teach, which is, now do you see how fucking retarded it is to get your personal self-esteem and your personal self-worth from a monolithic group that you are only, like, by the thinnest of threads attached to, which is the lack of pigment or the amount of pigment in your skin or who you want to fuck or whatever other fucking bullshit traits that you want to identify in it. You see what I'm saying? No one's learning that lesson. No. Because here's the thing. It's so brave. This is the, woman of the year. No, it's not a woman. It's not. Oh my God. When this shit happens, these are not women of the year. I don't understand how that became a problem to say. And now people on the left are saying it. And they're getting the shit that people like you, Jess, have been getting for however long, you've been getting shit for saying, hey, wait a minute. There is a difference between me, a biologically natural born woman, and a trans woman.
Yeah.
Bottom line is, if you were to open us up, we have different insides, et cetera, et cetera. Science and technology hasn't advanced to the point where we can change that yet. When it does, I'll adjust how I fucking address things. You know what I'm saying? Like, just a rational way of we're not denying your femininity, Mrs. Trans Woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, or Mr. Trans Man, and that'd be masculinity or whatever. We're just, let's be honest here. You're not the same as a biological man or woman.
No. You can't gestate a human.
I also, and y'all please correct me on this if I am overlooking something, because we all live from our own perspectives. I feel like the trans movement right now and the focus on the trans movement is all around men transitioning to women. You're not seeing biological women winning Man of the Year.
What about Elliot Page? How dare you?
That's the one example I can think of. Literally the one example I could think of is Elliot Page. But where's all this on the men's side?
Okay, if we're talking legit trans people, I can't even begin to tell you. No idea. I've never really met a trans man who ever seemed to, as far as I know, ever regretted their transitioning.
Is it the chick in? Well, I already fucked up. Isn't the one the person who played Boo in Orange Is the New Black? Isn't she a trans man or he a trans man?
Oh, the big tall chick, Laverne Cox.
No.
Laverne Cox? No.
No, the butchy white chick.
Guys, I watched it. I watched the first season once and half the second season one time and then stopped watching. I can't remember. But I'm going to say this. Chances are on that show, yes. Anyone who's trans on that show, yeah. Or are you talking about Ruby Rose?
No, it's Lee Delaria. It was Carrie Big Boo Black. Let's see.
Because I remember seeing her on, like, doing interviews and stuff, and she was dressed up in, like, suits and shit, like, trying to look like a dude.
Unless Google is misgendering her, then that is a girl.
So it's a really butchy lesbian?
Yeah. She's credited with being the first openly gay comic to appear in the American television with her 1993 appearance on the Arsenio Hall show.
Arsenio Hall? Renzo? Wait. Hold on a sec. I gotta... Send me that link. I want to make sure that's Arsenio Hall.
What?
Send me that link you're reading. Send me the...
I'm not reading a link. I copied it and then it highlighted it and it popped up with a little bio.
Okay. Does the name start with an A?
Yeah. Arsenio.
Arsenio.
What did I say?
Arlenzo?
Arenzo.
Arenzo? I was like, wait. I was like, George Lopez? Like, what Latino comic had that fucking Lorenzo? Hall. And then I'm like, Hall? That ain't Latino. And I was like, wait, Arsenio?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Hey, you know what? That's fair. I mean, because I'll be honest with you. If you weren't paying attention to pop culture between 1988 and 1994, because that's when he pretty much dropped out of pop culture, you have no idea who Arsenio Hall is. And if you're not into that era of pop culture and you're nostalgic for it, even though you weren't there type thing, why the fuck would you know who he is? What the fuck has he done? No, seriously, what has he done in the last fucking decade?
Nothing.
Even his comeback show was over a decade ago now.
Oh, you did in Coming America too?
Okay, so nothing.
Yeah. Well, I just for a while in pop culture. I mean, he's the guy responsible for putting out that in pop culture. Like that's where that came from.
The fist.
Yeah.
Doing the fist in a circle up in the air and but no, I mean, I guess honestly his longest lasting contribution to pop culture will be when people look back at Paula Abdul's career and they're like, who's the fucking tall, skinny dude with the Billy D. Williams mustache? And they're like, oh, that's Arsenio Hall because he was in the Straight Up video.
Oh, yeah. I forget about that.
Yeah, he did Coming to America, got his talk show, and that video come out. And I think that all happened within a summer, 3-4 months or something.
Hey, who was his agent? Why'd he fire him?
I'm saying. Who knows, dude? I don't know what happened.
Maybe his agent fired him.
I'm wondering if he did something behind the scenes, said something, or pissed off the wrong.
No, remember his big. When he said he was going to kick Johnny Carson's ass. That was apparently the beginning of his downfall.
Okay, Carson, who retired in 91, 92.
Or no, sorry, he said he was going to kick Jay Leno's ass. My bad.
Oh,
when Carson was retiring.
Once again, I think this is a generational thing. If you were my grandmother's age or my mom's age, you probably had your money on Leno. If you were our age, you've been Arsenio. But for whatever reason.
I had my money on Leno because he was super cheesy. And super cheesy always wins with mainstream America.
Well, once I learned more about Bill Hicks, how much Bill Hicks hated Leno, I was like, oh, yeah, Leno was probably a lot more willing to bend over for the corporate sponsors and everything NBC told him to do. So, all right. Well, anyways, once again, we're off in the fucking weeds.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really trying to look for anyone who is a famous trans man or well-known trans men, because this trans movement, from what I'm seeing, really does feel like it is hyper-focused on women. And I don't want to say erasing women, but it's just or an attack on women, because that feels dramatic, but it just seems like it's very focused on, like, women are getting the short end of the stick here. We're the ones who are losing, the women of the year. You're not seeing I guess men don't have a men's month, do you?
Every month is men's month.
No, actually, I'm pretty sure there is probably like a men's month. I know there's an International Men's Day. So
I know in November you're supposed to grow your mustache for prostate cancer.
Yeah, No Shave November. But it just that's another reason that I think that it feels really frustrating to me is that I'm watching things like, men aren't having to be challenged on being called father, whereas mother is supposed to be birthing person. But what's the challenge to father? What are we supposed to say there? What's the politically correct for trans on that?
Is it possible? Let's just
seeding person.
Let's speculate. Let's speculate for a second here. Is it possible that when a woman who's biologically a woman, when she transitions, that they tend to, like, it is a legit transition? You know what I'm saying? It's not something else being masked by I'm transitioning, and it's just with the male to female transitioning. There's some narcissism there that's like, oh, look at me, because, like, I'm sitting here, I looked up, like, Buck Angel, because he's the person I can think of who is the most well-known trans man who, when you see pictures of, I don't think you'd absolutely ever think this was, this dude was born a chick. But then I forgot, like, Cher and Sonny Bono's kid, Chaz Bono.
Yes.
There's a picture of Homeboy. Homeboy looks like a fucking 50-year-old balding dude. He's been a dude forever. I mean, we're talking decades, man. Fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's none of this. There's none of this, like, I'm going to transition. No, now I'm fucking non-binary. No, it's not he or she or here or him. It's she. No, now it's they, them. No, now it's zers, zigzag or zig or whatever the fuck. And I'm just saying, like, there just seems to be an element of something else going on in a lot of these quote unquote trans women that seem to be getting a lot of attention. Yeah. I don't know how else to put it. And I don't think it's conspiratorial. I just think it's narcissistic. I don't know of all the fancy ways to put it because, psychology's changing as quick as the news cycle is anymore. And the terminology is very fluid. So, I mean, who the fuck knows what it's called anymore? But main character syndrome, I don't know, whatever you call it, where you think the world revolves around you, and it's like these people have that in spades. And they're using transitioning as an excuse to get the light shown on them. That's why I'm sorry. I'm not Dylan. Dude, you're a motherfucker, bro. You're a dude. You're on some bullshit. I'm not buying this. Well, Homeboy was on fucking Price is Right, hopping around for like a minute and a half because he won a Showcase Showdown. Like, going over the top ridiculous, long before he transitioned.
Did y'all see the whole big celebration they had on 365 Days, like the 1 year of girlhood that they threw for Dylan Mulvaney?
Yes, where he's singing like torch fucking ballads and shit. Like, it felt like a fucking fold myself. Like, it felt like the AV department and the drama club were 69ing each other.
It was
and
just,
not in a good way.
It's terrible 69.
So narcissistic.
Absolutely.
It was gross.
You know what it reminded me of? It was like he's trying to throw those like early to mid 60s variety show, like one-off type things. So I guess they had them in the 70s too. Like, yeah, because you had the Star Wars holiday special. It was like, the Dylan Mulvaney summer special, the Dylan and Friends Christmas special, like trying to start that shit up. And I'm just like, you want a career? Then earn the fucking thing. Don't be like, I'm transitioning. Oh, and by the way, do it in such a way that, I'm sorry, but when you're sitting there, a grown-ass man, talking about, I'm a little 5-6-year-old girl today.
That's weird.
I can't walk through a park as a fucking single man where there are fucking women and their children because I'll be looked at funny. But this motherfucker can get on TV, dress up like a little girl, and act like he's a little girl. And I'm supposed to be like, this isn't sexual somehow. But yet I'm assumed to be guilty just because I'm walking through a park. And there's single mothers like, oh, there's a man, get the kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is maddening. I don't understand it. And I'm not saying, like, be afraid of homeboy, like, oh, my God, here comes Dylan, hide your kids. Like, unless I'm missing something about dude, like, you're probably safe physically from him if you ever run into him. Besides the fact that he appears to be, like, 6 foot tall and just skinny as a fucking broom. So he's built like that. He's one of those guys. So, yeah, I mean, I don't even know how to put it because I've lost so much respect for so many people I did have respect for simply because they're falling for that. They've crossed that Rubicon of trans women and men are real, just like biological women and men. And I'm like, that's just not true.
Yeah, no, it's not.
And you people rail, I mean, with everything in you, every bit of hatred you can fucking muster, you rail against Christianity. And it's not based on science and reality and fact, but now I gotta fucking sit here and be like, oh yeah, trans men and women are just exactly the same as biological men and women. Fuck you, dude. That's what I want to tell these people. Instead, I just stop talking to them because this is the problem. This is what I keep coming to. What are we going to do? We can't even agree on the basic fucking things.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Join Planet Fitness and get the PF Black Card. Access 2,000 plus locations and bring a friend. Zero enrollment. $24.99 a month.
Limited time flash sale. Get the PF Black Card for only $0 down, $24.99 a month now through April 20th.
See Club for details.
Moving day means that you and the things that matter to you are in for a big transition. There's a lot to figure out. New closets, different counter space, change of floor plan. No worries. CubeSmart is here, so you have a place for everything. It's our job to make self-storage as easy as possible. Online or in person, this is a self-storage experience that puts the focus on you because you matter to us. With self-storage that fits seamlessly into your life, you'll have plenty of peace of mind to unpack along the way. Click now to find a self-storage solution near you.
Struggling to pay your water or sewer bills? New Jersey's Low-Income Household Water Assistance Program can help you avoid service disruptions, restore services, pay reconnection fees, and stay up to date on payments. Don't get shut off. Apply for the Low-Income Household Water Assistance Program today. Call 211 or visit waterassistance.nj.gov. Call 211 or visit waterassistance.nj.gov.
Join Planet Fitness and get the PF Black Card. Access 2,000 plus locations and bring a friend. Zero enrollment. $24.99 a month.
Limited time flash sale. Get the PF Black Card for only $0 down, $24.99 a month now through April 20th.
See Club for details.
Aquí estamos preguntando sobre supersticiones financieras.
Bueno, en mi familia decían, si te pica la mano, no te la rasques porque viene dinero.
Pero si quieres controlar tu presupuesto, hay una manera mucho más práctica.
¿En serio?
Con el plan precio personal de State Farm, puedes crear un precio accesible solo para ti.
Y sin aguantar picazón, me gusta.
Como un buen vecino, State Farm está ahí. Llama para obtener una cotización hoy. Los precios varían según el estado. La elegibilidad para la selección de cobertura podría variar.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Hey, speaking of you stopped talking to him, you had a little exchange online, didn't you? It's kind of in this arena. Do you want to talk about it, or?
It's just not. I mean, a dude made a meme, and I think I fell for a troll. Like, hey, I guess like yesterday was my first day on the internet or some shit. And he was claiming that what? I have to pull it up. Hold on a sec. It's like a graph of a stock report or something, or stock value for Bud Light or Anheuser-Busch. And he said that Dylan happened on March 20th-ish, 21st maybe, 22nd, where he's got it circled. Was that what you guys would say if you guys remember?
Yeah, they're saying Dylan happened even March 20th. Right, where they're pointing, but yeah, they're basically last week of March. Let's settle there. They're going the full last week of March 20th through the 27th, or whatever those are.
Yeah, I guess they're trying to say that the stock was worth like, I don't know, like just a shade under $62 a share. And then they announced everything with Dylan on like April 5th. What is this? No, April 6th. It closed at $67 a share, right? Mm-hmm. That's the mean.
Yeah, trying to say transphobes have driven the stock up. And I'm not gonna bore everybody with the specifics, but I basically pointed out, I'm like, when no one's talking about is that, and this is my fault. I took this in good faith. I took it what he was saying, what this possible troll was saying in good faith. No one's talking about the fact that you just fell for a corporate psyop. That means if the numbers jumped and Anheuser-Busch, specifically Bud Light, started selling to people it was never selling before, that means people who had no interest in your product, you successfully convinced them to buy a product they don't want just to spite people they hate. And that is successful propaganda on a level that's so bone deep, I don't think we can shake it. And I basically was trying to open that lane of conversation, and I basically got stonewalled with, you're a transphobe. And I was like, yeah, okay, all right, you have a good one. And just turned around and walked away. Like virtual walked away. Just ignored the conversation. Like, that's it. I'm done. You Homer in the bushes going backwards.
Yeah.
Right,
I mean, just not rude. Just, I literally was, okay, you have a good one then. That's it. It's just like, I can't sit here and have a conversation with people who are going to look at me and tell me we have to agree that 2 + 2 = 5 for us to continue the conversation. And I'm like, if we can't agree on objective reality, by the way, objective reality that you've been living in all your life until whenever the fuck you thought 2 + 2 = 5 now, I can't help you, and I'm not wasting my time. And I guess that's what it really comes down to. And that's where I guess I feel like, to bring it back around to what Jess said earlier, I feel like when you say stuff, and I hear people say stuff like you said about, I'm just not going to spend my money there, I'm like, time and money. You know what I'm saying? It's like, not spending money is cool, but I'm not going to put any time into it because I don't think there's anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess I'm trying to explain. I'm sorry. I'm not making much sense here. I'm trying to explain how I feel about it. Like, not spending your money makes sense, saying I'm just not going to support it. But when you start putting time into it, that's an investment. And it's like, that's where I'm like, are you willing to invest your time, your free time you could be spending with your family, your animals, with your hobbies to fight against this, to rail against this?
Yeah. Like you can make more money. You can't get time back.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot, but I mean, I think it's a fair question.
So the only thing that I'm not doing is I'm just changing where I shop. It's not a time thing,
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know. I know people, it was very rare, but when I worked in retail situations, people sometimes would come in and go like, whoosh, and this is before the internet, so this is a handwritten list they pull out, and they'd be like, I can't buy any of these products because I'm boycotting them. And I'm just looking at them like, bitch, I get paid minimum wage. I don't care.
So let me tell you how. Let me tell you how I go through. This is my joke. How I'm going through life, and it's not a boycott. It's just making I'm being a conscious consumer, and I'm not going to consume things that I feel go against my beliefs. Right? I'm not going to purchase those things if at all possible. However,
you're just like them.
I am bird boxing my way through life right now because it's becoming so inconvenient. So unless someone's like blowing it up, unless they're rubbing it in my face, I'm not going and looking up who donated to what presidential candidate, who has donated to trans rights, who is donating to causes I support. I'm not going and like deep diving the company's ethics. But if you're going to throw this stuff in my face, then I am going to accept what you're telling me, and I'm going to I'm going to go in another direction. Does that make sense?
Yes. If someone's, absolutely. I mean, I get it. I understand it. But I just think people need to understand, like, it's not like, okay, I stopped buying Anheuser-Busch products, and in a week they're going to acquiesce, and they're going to take this fucking dude off the can, and they're going to go back to like they're going to put Kid Rock and Travis Tritt butt fucking each other on the can, and that's not gay somehow because America. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not how. I'm not saying that's you, Jess, but we both know there are a lot of dumb motherfuckers out there who truly believe that like magical shit like that's going to happen.
No, listen, absolutely. That's just my soapbox, and that's now what I, not that it's happened often, but what I recommend whenever people are like, I don't like this. I'm like, then don't support it. You don't have to go picket. You don't have to go rally up. You don't have to go make a stink, yell. You don't have to take time off of work. You don't have to post one thing on the internet or fight with anybody. Just stop supporting it. And if everyone did that, instead of getting on the internet and screaming about Budweiser and Anheuser-Busch and all of that, then we really might stand a chance of them coming back and being like, okay, too far. But instead, people are just mad while drinking Bud Light because that's the beer.
And that's the other thing. I've said it time and time again. Not giving a company that you don't believe in their values or whatever, business stated business plan, et cetera, that's one thing. You know what? I'm not going to open that can of worms. Sorry. Yeah. We'll save that for another day, because that's a can of worms. I'm like, I just peered over the abyss and realized, better judgment took hold. Let's back up away from the abyss. Yeah. So anyways, I'm sorry. Just didn't want to take us down a fucking rabbit hole that we might not come out of on this show. So yeah, I'm sorry. And it completely reset. So unplug me, give it 10 seconds, plug me back in.
Power down.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Listen, and even with that too, I want to state for the record, I'm not about cancel culture. I'm not calling to cancel Budweiser. They have just as much of a right to stand for what they believe in. And if that's how people want to look at it, cool. They're allowed to do that. You are free to make your own decision, and I'm here for that, but I'm also free as a consumer to say I'm not here for that either, you know?
It's the assumption of a business trying to sell you a product that they have the right to tell you who you're obligated to support.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who the fuck do you think you're talking to? Okay, I'm telling you, Daddy Corpo and Mommy Government have lost their fucking minds. We ain't lived in their fucking house. We're well over 18, ain't lived in their house for a while. Who the fuck do these fucking, think about that. That's how they're talking to you and treating you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And here's my point by saying that. That's what should be pissing people off the most, because they should stop, even if it's not their group being treated like that, and go, oh, wait a minute. If that can happen to them, then it can happen to them. Then that means it can happen to me. Oh, shit. But sorry, we're too soft. We trust that we think we're safer than we are. Nothing bad will ever happen to us. Okay. All right. But
anyway, that's the whole of it is that I feel like that at least is makes more of an impact than what my vote does. So that's how I'm voting now, is with where I shop. And I truly do. I bird box my way through this because I really, really am tired of things like KitchenAid now.
What the fuck is Bird Box?
You remember the Sandra Bullock movie?
Oh, Jesus. I'm thinking of some sort of fucking app. Like you put in, I'm boycotting so-and-so. And it's called Bird Box. I don't know. Why is fucking Twitter called Twitter? I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like,
No. Like I have blindfolds on and I'm just like feeling my way through life I'm trying to not see this stuff. I am not looking for it. Yeah, that's it. That's my soapbox, and I understand that it's probably doing nothing but making my life just a little bit harder, but it's what I can do. And if I encourage anyone, truly, if you don't like something, stop putting your dollar towards it, because we are run off nothing but dollars.
I feel you shouldn't bird box while driving, by the way.
Probably not.
No, it's like Nike with Dylan Mulvaney now. Did y'all see that? Dylan Mulvaney is now the representative or like a spokesperson for the women's line of clothes. Dylan Mulvaney is not built like an average female, because Dylan Mulvaney is not an average female. Why?
He has a fucking endorsement from Tampax.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a period.
Are you shoving them up your ass?
Yeah, what are you doing with them? See,
and here's the thing. The answer is no. So what? it'd be like having someone in blackface talking about, I sure enough do get my Afro Sheen from, and it's like, are you kidding me right fucking now?
Right? Yeah.
Like, first of all, if you are so white that you don't know what happens when you put Afro Sheen on white people hair, good Lord, okay? You ain't gonna have any hair. You know what I'm saying? It's absurd. It is absolutely absurd. It doesn't even make sense on it only makes sense on an absurdly comic level. But this is reality, and we're told.
And I'd like to talk to you about sickle cell.
Yes. That type of shit.
Yeah.
This is madness.
No, it's just as effective as a biological female coming up and saying, let me tell you about my jockstrap. Like, what?
Yeah, what are you protecting? Do you have a huge clit?
No, it's just, it's ridiculous stuff, and it's insulting. This is insulting shit. It's insulting to act like this sponsorship and that Dylan Mulvaney wearing these clothes are any sort of representation of what a woman would look like in those clothes, a biological woman would look like in those clothes, but it also takes sponsorship away from a woman for the woman's line.
He doesn't have hips. He doesn't have tits.
Why? And he's wearing a sports bra. She's wearing a sports bra.
For what?
Like, right. Like, it's just...
What are you supporting?
I got more of a reason to wear a sports bra on that motherfucker.
Yeah. Let's be honest.
And that's even after losing weight. So that's what's up. So yeah. So I mean, like, you know what? I guess I just need to start being that motherfucker. When I get friends who start coming at me, and I mean, I know who they are, and they're gonna. It's thin the friend herd yet again. When they start coming at, you know, religion and blah, 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 and all this fairy tale, sky daddy, fucking blah, 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 blah. I have a great time. I sit there, I crack jokes with them too. And if I start cracking on this shit, and there's people talking about the trans men and women are the exact same as biological men and women, and I start fucking, you know, capping on them fuckers, not capping isn't Gen X uses capping, by the way. And they say something, I'll be like, if you can go after one for not recognizing and living in reality, then you're a fucking hypocrite if you don't go after the group doing the exact same thing. I don't care if they happen to be on quote unquote your side, which, by the way, they ain't on nobody's side but their own. Believe me, the minute you pull the support from people like this, these people will fucking disappear back into whatever subculture they fucking pop their head up out of and go back to being a big fish in a small pond.
Yeah.
I don't know how else I was thinking about this. It reminds me of like the whole Dylan Mulvaney act. The whole thing reminds me of like something that you would see in a documentary about like Studio 54. And when it's like over the top, flamboyant, but the thing is they knew they were being over the top and flamboyant because they were at Studio 54 and coked out of their goddamn fucking minds.
It's kind of like part of the deal.
That's what, yes. So like this dude's walking around like, this is me every day in real life.
Well, and the whole way that
he's Dylan like cosplaying.
Yeah, the whole way they got their start was with the start of girlhood and all that. So the first day of girlhood, second day of girlhood, all of that. It's insulting. It is satirical. It started off with, so far I've cried 3 times today, told someone I'm fine when I'm not. Like...
Yeah, all the troll. Yeah, exactly. That's like back to what Rich was talking about. Yeah, like day one of being black. Today I woke up and had bacon for breakfast. Had a chicken sandwich and grape soda for lunch. Like, right?
Today I woke up and my life was just, today was a good day. You could just play that song and that was my life.
Today I woke up at 12:15. Sorry, couldn't help myself.
It is. Take it anywhere else. Do it to anyone else. Canceled. Done. You are excommunicated. You are booted from the world of the internet.
And I'm sorry. To what end is all of this obsession with gender? I have yet for anybody on anywhere on any fucking side of this argument to give me an answer with this. What is with this obsession with gender? What started this shit? Because the only thing I keep going back to is, we finally got to the point where pretty much the tail end of the millennials, there was really nothing to rebel against.
Exactly. That's We're out of shit. Yeah, they're out of. The youth are out of things. Their life is think about a teenager right now. You don't have to learn to drive. You could push a button on your phone and get fucking food. And if you really know the right people, you can push a button on your phone and get fucking weed. There's like alcohol delivery. There's Postmates. Postmates will just stop at the store and get you whatever you fucking want. Like, you could watch whatever you want. You can hang out with all your friends without leaving your room. Yeah, what's left to rebel against?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, man, a job now flipping burgers is $15 an hour. Yeah, what are you mad about?
How many times have we talked about it? Okay, when we talk about people who are trans, like I'm not even going to qualify what I'm saying with legit trans, because that implies that I should have to fucking, you know what I'm saying, specify that. Fuck that. I'm just going to start calling fake trans motherfuckers that I think are fake trans. You're trans. We know that you went through some shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, this is people coming in at the tail end talking about, oh, we've had it so hard. Who are you? And it's like, here's the thing. Because we live in a society where for 2 generations, we've taught 2 entire generations in our society to count every time they walk into a room. How many black, how many gay, how many white, how many blah, 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 blah. There's no way to get her out of this shit. There's no way to get around this shit now. And it's just, like I said, they saw a group who had legitimately went through some shit. They saw a group who was getting legitimate. I know my grandfather, okay, one of my grandfathers, that man, no one could say that man was left-leaning in any sense unless when he died from a heart attack, he fell over on his left side. That's it. I don't even think he made left turns. He just kept going right till he got where he had to go. That's just how that man was. This was the 80s, guys, the 80s. So it's not like this was an enlightened time, all right? As far as like men who fought in World War II and gay men in the 80s, those 2 groups didn't hang out a lot. Let's just put it that way. But my grandfather sat in the late 80s and gave me a lecture on fucking how I should at least have empathy, but I really should have respect for Boy George because of everything he went through. Because he felt like he was born in a woman's body, or a woman born in a man's body, and then he thought he was gay and he didn't know what he was. And I'm sitting there listening to my grandfather talk about this shit. You know what I'm saying? So trans people, for as much hatred as they got, they also got a lot of, maybe it come off as pity, but I think it was just like I said, it was almost empathy. Now, I'm sure because he was religious, it was like, if they'd only know Jesus, then they wouldn't have this confusion. Sure. But I mean, did you get my point? Like, these people who had nothing else, and they're like, gender. Okay, how do we make it about gender? Well, oh, look, trans people. We'll hitch our wagon to that. We're oppressed too. So you're trans? Yeah. Oh, okay. So when are you getting your this cut off or this implanted and these hormones? Well, I'm not doing any of that. Well, then you're not trans. I'm non-binary. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's, guys, we saw it. Well, Chris and I saw it growing up. I keep coming back to this. This is as if every white kid who walked around from the suburbs in the 90s and acted like they were from the hood were treated as if they were fucking Nino Brown. Like that they are fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like that they are Superfly TNT out here fucking, you know, making moves and shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
they know he's gangbanging out in these parts.
Yeah, it is absolutely ridiculous. And here's the problem. Just like those wannabes, when you run into real motherfuckers who were white, who were down with some dirt in the hood, you knew. You knew.
Yes.
You knew. They didn't tell you either. Most of the time, they just let you find out. You'll fuck up eventually. They'll fucking have to jerk a knot in your ass.
There's a reason we let him roll with us.
Yes.
Someone's got to talk to the cops.
Or someone's done some crazy ass shit and got away with it.
Exactly.
So.
Like, if we tell them we can't hang out with us anymore, one of us is going to die. So
but that's what
we let Terry hang out with us.
That's what this shit reminds me of. And it's nutty, man. It is absolutely nutty. And it's, once again, you cannot explain to people because they're ready to be so defensive and go on the attack and call everybody istophobic that I'm not talking about trans people. I'm talking about the people walking around with that seasick color, bluish green hair with their septum piercings, and they all dress alike, and they all do their makeup exactly alike, and they all do the exact same shit. That's a uniform. That is a trend. Those people are... are taking other people's real fucking pain and appropriating. You remember appropriating? Remember that fucking term? They're appropriating it. I mean, that's all this is. And even if you disagree with that, the first thing out of someone's mouth, you hate trans people.
Yeah, how's Dylan Mulvaney not appropriating female culture?
They're too busy mocking it.
Well, and there's the other thing that's going on, and this, this is just a tactic that's going to end badly for all involved. It's the poking the bear tactic. It's the little annoying brother who sits there in the car in the back seat with you, and he's poking you, and he's poking you, and he's poking you, and he's poking you. And then when you blow up, he plays the victim. Yeah, well, and since he's the little brother, you get the fucking ass whooping. He gets the fucking pat on the fucking shoulder and the, oh, poor baby, and the fucking cookies. Yeah. That's what's going on. Why are you fucking purposely trying to antagonize people to sell a product?
Seems kind of odd.
It works, though. Once again, it works. But the sad part is nobody has the foresight to think past the end of their own dick again. It's all about them. Well, this will get me more money. This will improve my fucking portfolio. Let's do it. Yeah, but what seeds are you planting? What seeds are you planting for down the road?
No, they're not thinking about the long term, but it's very reactionary.
From the people who are supposed to be progressive or supporting a progressive cause. This is all in the name of progressivism. And I'm just like, what's progressive about this? Divide and conquer? That's old, man.
I feel when we were younger, Rich, this would have been seen as like pandering. Right? Like, what the fuck is this? Like, all of a sudden, Budweiser comes out with a gay can. Ooh, are you like your gay beer now? Like, I feel like that's kind of would have been our generation's, like, reaction to it.
Yeah, they had to find new ways to pander to us. And I'm not saying that flippantly. I'm being dead serious when I say that.
Oh, no. Trust me. They found ways. Don't worry.
And I mean, here's the deal. Unless you grew up in the 80s and then lived through the 90s as a teenager, like when we were seeing the shit in the 90s, we were like, oh, okay, wow, this is really fucking progressed. It's not half as cheesy as it was in the 80s. You watch that shit for like 25 years later and you're like, man, that shit looks like it's from the 50s.
Right? Yeah.
Like this shit is cheesy and corny as fuck. But then you really watch commercials and I mean, like, this is a Stream of Consciousness podcast. You know what you signed up for. But Stream of Consciousness podcast, and lost my train of thought. Shit, what was I saying? Sorry, before I said Stream of Consciousness.
Shrinking. Damn it.
Something from the 80s and 90s.
Oh, yeah, the shit in the 90s looked cheesy. You thought it looked good, now it's just cheesy as shit.
Yeah, when you look back at it, I'm sure it'll be the same thing with what we got. Well, now especially. Now it's like, Jesus Christ. I don't watch a lot of TV where they have commercials and shit, and I turn any fucking radio station if I can when I hear the second I hear a commercial. Fuck all that noise. Like, it's not even a conscious thing. It's like a subconscious thing. I just do it automatically. And so I don't see what they fucking use for advertising these days and like commercials and what's popular and stuff. But I mean, it's all the same tactics, but I mean, I see a lot of 80s influence, but not in a nostalgic way. Like in this, remember how in the 80s everything was like super patriotic, gung-ho American?
Oh, yeah. Ronnie Reagan.
Pendulum has swung all the way to the other side. Everything's super fucking progressive, and for lack of a better term, super woke. And I'm just like, I've seen this before. This is extremism coming from the other side.
Well, you could argue the 80s were the reaction to the late 60s, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and I guess
you
we're back where the late 60s were?
I guess you could say the 90s fucking slowed down, I guess, the pendulum swing a little bit, and nothing ever stops it, but maybe it slowed it down. I don't know. I'm just, once again, just noticing shit. I mean, and these are patterns in history that people well better educated about this shit than me know and deal with. So this isn't me coming up with anything new.
Well,
so let me ask this question because so sales are down 30%. Let's say they rebound, but they still stay down. Is Bud a corporation? First of all, would Anheuser-Busch ever fucking reverse itself and acknowledge it is reversing itself?
No, because I think what we're missing with the statistics, it's the sales of Bud Light are down 30%. Like, we're not talking about the sales of Anheuser-Busch were down 30%. Oh, there'd have been a retraction fucking 5 days ago.
I gotta imagine that Bud Light is, as much as everybody shits on it, like I said, it's the McDonald's, the Little Caesars of beers, and it's on every corner. So I imagine it's got to be a big seller. So it's got to still be a pretty big hit to the brand, right?
Yeah, but if Anheuser-Busch as a whole was down 30%, they'd be like, "Holy shit, we're sorry." But yeah, I think it's just Bud Light is down 30%.
I don't know. I just keep coming back to
maybe I'm wrong.
I just keep coming back to how does this shit get pulled back from the edge? How does this shit stop and then start going back towards someplace a little bit more sane, to where we're not sitting here going, really? You literally made a commercial with someone just to piss off your own customer base. I mean, what's it going to take, guys?
For people to stop supporting it.
So I mean, I don't know. I get the feeling this is going to be the same bullshit we went through with fucking COVID and everything else. Like, oh, we got a little stupid there. We got a little carried away. Let's just act like that didn't happen. Let's have Trans Children Forgiveness Day here, and we'll just act like we never said to chop children's, genitals off, or, sterilize them before they're fucking even in double digits by pumping them full of fucking shit. Which
trans support amnesty.
Well, I mean, once again, if trans is all in your head, and having your surgery is an affirmation of what your reality is, what's the harm in telling a kid, well, you get to have 18 years to be a fashion victim and learn how to do makeup, and then we'll start fucking taking care of everything and making everything else match. I don't understand what the problem with that is.
There isn't.
Or better than that, how about this? I know this is not going to be popular, but I don't understand the people that are pushing for, we want kids to be able to go to the doctors and start their transitioning process without letting their parents know. Excuse me?
Right?
Excuse me, seriously. And see, this is one of those issues that people jump behind because they think it's the right thing to do, because we're going to be on the right side of history, and we don't want to come off as Istophobic. But it's the same as the underage abortion without having to notify the parents thing. Everybody supports it until the situation hypothetically is proposed to them, and they actually sit down and think about their daughter at 14 going to a fucking doctor's, God knows where, getting that procedure done and coming home, and they have no fucking idea, and worse yet, they have no legal recourse and they are not entitled to know. Then all of a sudden their opinion on that shit changes. I mean, I hate to be this, but I think we're at the point where it's like, I think we got to let people fucking get burned here with this shit. I really do.
You got to learn the stove is hot to not fuck with it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just be honest with you. I'm glad I'm not a parent right now.
Oh, I said that today to my nephew. Like, man, I'm glad I don't have kids. I told him today, I said, good luck. I actually said that to him. We were talking about something. And I was like, well, I wish you and your brother luck, because his brother's 12.
I'm telling you. If I was a parent, my kid come home, 10, 11, I'm trans, I want blah, 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 blah. All right, fuck it. Go ahead. Fuck yourself up. Why'd you let me, 20 years later, why'd you let me do that? What the fuck did you want me to do? What could I do? What legally could I do?
I mean, I know I've brought it up in the past. Go.
No, I'm just saying, dude, what are you going to do if you fucking, your kid on their 18th birthday goes out and gets a face tattoo?
Nothing.
Exactly. All you can do is, until that kid turns 18, be like, you come in with a face tattoo, I'm going to take a cheese grater to it. That's all you can do. I mean, and I'm just like, they're trying to take that away. And here's the thing. When you bring this up and you go, how many fucking surgeries are we talking about with children? Oh, it's like a couple dozen? Well, then why are you acting like this is such a world-shattering thing that 50% of the fucking 8 billion people on this planet need this fucking surgery immediately? Do you get what I'm saying? The panic and the outrage and the push for this seems to far outweigh the demand for it.
Absolutely it does. For no good reason. It has to just be some sort of distraction, right? Keep us talking about this, keep us divided over this.
If you look at the world and you think that there's underneath the surface nefarious shit going on, it looks bad. Yeah, I guess you could connect those fucking dots. To me, honestly, I just go back to, it's probably greed. 95% of the time, it's greed. I mean, it might be greed coupled with something else, but I really think it's these pharmaceutical companies, these companies that produce anything to do with anybody transitioning, are looking at it like these are customers for life.
Yeah.
Isn't this what was going? We just talked about this with Bud Light. They're trying to rebrand themselves to people who typically aren't in their fucking brand wheelhouse. And they want that brand loyalty to be lifelong. I mean, shit, if it becomes enough of an industry, think about it. There could literally be in less than 20 years, if you're trans and you go to your doctor, first of all, you have a doctor you specifically go to see because you're trans, and you can have different fucking medications to choose from. I don't like this one. I'll try this one. I'll try this one. I'll try that. It could be like shopping for an antidepressant. That's a huge market. Never underestimate the people's greed who see that and go, they don't see that and go, wow, that would be fucked up if we actually went after that market. They see that and go, we're leaving money on the table. Chris, am I wrong? No. You've been around people who fucking are business people who deal with this shit. You've been around the corporate world. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like for double digits worth of years, you have that much experience. You know what we're leaving money on the table. I can't count how many times I've heard that.
But my thing is,
and I'm not dealing anywhere with the profits like a pharmaceutical company is looking at.
But I guess my thing is like, are you this is a group of people who doesn't have money. Like, do the younger people all of a sudden, are they in control of more income now than before? Because by the way, the narrative I've been hearing for the last 10 years is they're so poor. They're so broke. They're so put upon. They're the worst. They've had it the worst than any generation ever. So why are you shitting on the people who you're not dancing with who brought you, so to speak? That's what I don't understand.
Well, then I think we all just need to accept that they've been lying and bullshitting this entire time. They don't have it so bad. They're not so poor. They don't have it worse than any generation before them. They're full of shit. They don't know what they're talking about. So stop listening to what the fuck they're saying, because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And two, we have to fucking think outside of the U.S. How many other fucking developed countries have universal health care where this shit's covered? That's basically a blank check.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
The answer is zero.
I'm sure it's covered.
Oh, I know it is. I listened to one of the YouTubers that I listen to his streams or his podcast, Short Fat Otaku. He sometimes streams with his streaming partner, and she's trans and she's Canadian. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's like 100% covered, but it's damn sure a lot more fucking covered than it is here in America. That's for sure.
Ooh.
Because she said multiple times how glad she is that she's Canadian and she's trans in Canada and not America. I'm sorry, go ahead. What were you going to say, Chris?
It's just going to be a dumbass. Since we live in a border state, can we say we are trans-Canadian?
I've been wanting dual citizenship for fucking all my life.
That's what I'm saying. If you get dual citizenship, I'm a trans-Canadian.
I'm only Canadian when I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm Canadian. I'm nationality fluid.
Yes.
But no, that's just where my mind goes. Like, there's money to be made. These are greedy cocksucking corporations who they have one job only, make money. So that's what I think it most likely is. And also, it's like I said, once I saw that this whole only boomers think that there are men and women and think that trans men and women aren't the same as biological men and women. That's boomer shit. That's genius. That's genius. Do you understand that literally that took a sword and cut the fucking their possible customer base almost in half? Mm-hmm. Like, they are clearly taking a stand and going, this is who we're siding with. Here's the bitch of it. You got maybe 20 years, millennials and Gen Z. Enjoy it.
Yeah, that's your turn.
Yep.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Progressive Insurance protects people's cars, homes, and other vehicles. But if you've ever seen our commercials or even just heard our name, you probably already knew that. What you may not know is that we support Humble Design, a nonprofit that furnishes homes for families and veterans emerging from homelessness. Because a little help goes a long way. And a lot of help, well, you get the idea. Now, if you already knew all of this about Progressive Insurance, we're impressed. We'll have to find something else cool to tell you next time. Find out more about how we're dedicated to our customers and communities at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
The following is a message from the future, sent by Jamie from Progressive.
Back in 2023, you could get help from Progressive online, through our mobile app, or over the phone. But here, in the future, we can communicate with you through telepathy. Now, I don't think anyone in 2023 has mastered telepathy yet, but if you have, then you can totally read my thoughts right now. And yes, I did leave the oven on. Wow, you're good at this.
That was a message from the future. Get the help you need today with Progressive.
Do you smell smoke? I really should go.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers.
They say that home is where the heart is. Maybe that's why so many fall in love with Big Pine Key and Florida's Lower Keys. With epic ocean views, unspoiled wilderness, sandy beaches, abundant wildlife, RV resorts, and Stock Island's rustic charm, Florida's Lower Keys don't skip a beat. For more about the Lower Keys, visit flakeys.com/Lower Keys.
It's spring cleaning time, and I am vacuuming everything this year, even the creepy attic. Why? Because I'm a Dunkin' Rewards member, so I get ahead by using my rewards as fuel, and fuel it does. And now you can get ahead too. Dunkin' Rewards members get a $3 medium cold brew every day all month long, like the new caramel chocolate cold brew. Not a member? Join on the Dunkin' app. Dunkin' Rewards. Save them, stack them, use them how you want. America runs on Dunkin'. Limit 1 per member per day. Additional charges and terms may apply. Participation may vary. Limited time offer.
You can't always see bad weather coming, so it's essential that you're able to see through it when you drive. Michelin wiper blades with advanced technology hug your windshield like a Michelin tire hugs the road, channeling away water, snow, and ice so you can see clearly, drive confidently, and breathe easy. Michelin wiper performance, clearer than ever. Upgrade to Michelin premium wipers today at Walmart, Amazon, and other fine retailers.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
So, Chris, do you think this topic on the podcast will be contributing to our canceling on Facebook?
Sure. I think we're back up. I mean, I was able to post the show to Facebook this week. I think we were in timeout for a day. Although today I was getting a thing like, you haven't posted on your page in a while. I was like, I thought I posted yesterday.
Well, by the way, should we tell them what the fuck we're talking about?
Maybe. Yeah. Let's start there. They said we got put in timeout. Let me read the letter we got from Uncle Mark, because he's watching. Administrator page, we regret to inform you that your page has been temporarily suspended due to policy violations that we have detected. As part of our commitment to providing a fair and safe community for all users, we continuously review and update our meta privacy policy and terms of service. Unfortunately, your page has been found to be in violation of these policies. Using someone else's fake name or photo, which it's a photo that we made and it's our logo, so it's not that one. Share content that misleads other users, insulting other users. If you believe this is an error in our system, please verify your blah, 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 blah. So, we were sharing content that misleads other users. No, by the way, no follow-up, no addendum onto that, nothing like click here and we'll tell you what's up.
Yep, just you messed up. Now guess at where you did it.
Yeah, I'm going to guess it's with the last week's show, because we got put on a naughty step over the weekend.
What was it last week?
Oh, yeah. That was... Oh, I mean, yeah, it's been sent since the last show, so for sure.
That was Trump indicted, the Restrict Act, COVID and restaurants, workplace culture, culture wars, Marjorie Taylor Greene on 60 Minutes, Twitter Blue, Elon called NPR state-funded media.
Oh, so
guys, they threatened to throw me off Facebook forever because I shared the picture of the Pope, the AI picture of the Pope in the puffy white coat. I shared 2 memes of that picture. And they said it was mis and disinformation, and I was purposely misleading people. And if I continued to do it, I would be permanently banned from Facebook. We got a target on our back. Don't know how we got it. Doesn't matter. Good. Ain't going anywhere.
Good.
It ain't going anywhere.
Fucking good. Like, it's like, when I shared this, I said, this is, and the point I made, this is why, in this case, for this stuff, I favor government regulation, because this is all subjective at this point. I get it. They're private business, all that. They can do what they want, but it's all subjective. This is why there's government regulation in TV, there's government regulation in broadcast, right? Visual or audio. So I think there needs I think the Wild West time needs to be over. There needs to be some set of standards put in by some type of governing body because why? Because we have open discussions about. I mean, Jess, when you read the description, I was like, man, how many third rails were in that show? If you really think about it. Like, so yeah, like pick one.
Yeah. Okay, but if you did have some sort of governing regulation over it, right, who's to say that their opinion wouldn't just sway with the masses also, you know? Like whoever was put over it. Because it wouldn't just be like, these are the rules. It would be updated constantly.
Right, because then when you get the government involved, then you got to follow the money. Who's going to spend the most money to influence this committee, right? Or influence these rules, these standards.
Right. So, like, we would still be subject to the same thing.
I thought these sites were supposed to be the free exchange of information. Again, but it's only information you like. It's only information that the platform likes.
Let me ask you a question. Were both of you guys on MySpace?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever get a ban or a warning or a threaten to be banned on MySpace?
No.
Okay, yeah. I put music on my MySpace page. I never got a copyright strike. I put pictures that I found on the internet up on my page. I never got a copyright strike. I never got anything saying, you know, this is a whatever belongs to blah blah blah. Take it down. You know, Disney's lawyers have contacted us. Type shit. What happened?
We left Tom for greener pastures.
Or Tom. He had so many friends.
Or is it possible that is it just possible that the early adopters of the internet had pretty much learned the lessons of that the internet's going to teach you? Like it's like the old saying, you go to school, it teaches you a lesson, you take a test, the real world teaches you a lesson, or the real world gives you the test and you take away a lesson from it. The internet is ruthless. And people got on the internet when Facebook became open to everybody. And then Twitter because people joined Facebook. Hey, have you been to Twitter? What's that? Let me go over there. So Twitter explodes. Now every fucking normie, every person who has no fucking online etiquette, the real boomers show up. The people who are typing amen on pictures of fucking babies from like video games and shit because they don't know the difference. You know what I'm saying? Like, is it possible that it's just humanity's just stupid? And when you let enough of us into one fucking space, we ruin it for everybody else?
Yes.
Kind of seems to be the theme.
Because, dude, I'm telling you, 20 years ago, by the way, when I say 20 years ago, what I really mean is 23 years ago. But that's beside the point. But I'm just saying, even 20 years ago, 2003, the internet was wild, man. You could see anything you want if you had the patience to go through to a couple different search engines. And people weren't doing the shit that they're doing now back then. And it was the real Wild West. Now you got to fucking duck, dodge, and weave to do half the shit that people get in trouble for. Or you just got to piss off the wrong people. And then I get busted for sharing pictures I found on Facebook. Okay, you're going to ban me for posting something on your site that I found on your site. Yeah. Sure.
You're like the 80s commercial. I learned it by watching you.
Like when we got tagged for misinformation for talking about what the CDC said about COVID.
For just chronicling the CDC's stances on COVID, we got a YouTube ding. Not a ding, but just we got a medical misinformation label or some shit. I forget. Yeah. It's all bullshit.
If you spoke against the current truth.
Oh, fucking well. That is my stance on it. Everyone always talks about we need to have these conversations. I think we have these conversations on the show are conversations we should be having.
Agreed.
Like the real conversations.
Yep. Openly, face to face, without a mob mentality behind a screen.
You take us off Facebook, I don't give a fuck. Because once again, I'll say it, Apple, 9 years, nothing has been taken down. We've got no emails about anything. Like, I truly believe Apple believes in, they talk about the free exchange of information. Apple's one of they walk the walk, at least with that. Now, don't work in their factories. But as far as their internet ethics, so to speak, they at least walk the walk there.
Yeah.
Well, I can't really expect, I don't know. I can't really expect fucking a bunch of tech fucking nerds to have a bunch of backbone to stand up to the federal government. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, on top of that, once again, young tech people, they're not going to skew to the right. So it's just like when we talk about Facebook, like, let's be honest here.
The ones in charge
the ones when we talk about Facebook and the past elections and shit, we were just quoting what they were saying in articles, which was government employees giving interviews going, no, we didn't have to threaten anybody. We just called. We're like, hey, yeah, that we have this story. Yeah, we've already flagged it. We're gonna suppress it. Don't worry about that. We got that. Oh, okay, thank you. Like that's if the Biden administration doesn't even need to say, hey, we need you to kind of like, put it on the back burner for us. Like, no, we already got it. Yeah. Do you really think they're going to stand up to the federal government?
Because when you describe it like you describe it, it sounds like they're already in their pocket. Why would you?
It sounds like the guy who goes to prison, who has no street connections, but he's got some sort of skill that can keep his ass from getting split open. You know what I'm saying? He ain't going to have like 10 Boss crackers up his ass. So, like, he's like, no, before you attack me, let me do this.
Or no, I give really good head.
Anyways. All right.
Well, what other offensive stuff can we talk about?
Well, I mean, I want to comment on this, and this is just a general observation I've made. When the whole Elon and Twitter thing first, but all the stirrings about, he's going to buy it or he may buy it, we don't know, and then he bought it and this and this and this. For the most part, I've given him the benefit of the doubt. But now he's starting to do some shit, and I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck you're doing, dude. I mean, he's sharing DMs between him and Matt Taibbi, then deleting them. But at the same time, he gets into it with a BBC journalist, which, by the way, that the BBC journalist, he got into it when he was like, because for the uninitiated, Elon Musk was giving an interview to a BBC journalist. The journalist was like, well, I don't really use the Twitter's, what is the sidebar suggested for you or something like that? For you sidebar, where it's like a bunch of suggested. I don't know. I'm not on Twitter. But anyways, and I just realized no one on this fucking show is on Twitter.
I log into it once a week to post the shows.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's more than I log into it, and you're probably the one who logs in the most. So.
I don't even read it, dude. It's like it's the same thing with Facebook. I don't even read it. I just log in, post the shows. Peace. Elon get rich.
He's gone.
Hello.
There you are.
Hey.
Fucking Elon got you, dude. You were gonna talk shit.
What the fuck happened?
That was a warning.
It's a warning shot, dude. Be careful what you're about to say.
I don't even know what the fuck happened. I'm looking to see if my signal dropped out, but the call didn't hang up or nothing. But it was just like I could hear you, and then I couldn't, and all of a sudden you were there, and I'm like, okay, that sounded like a complete disconnection and reconnection.
This means Elon's in the house.
The call is coming from in the house. Yes. He's attached to your Wi-Fi in the house. That's how you know these days. Who's this motherfucker's attached to my Wi-Fi? Shit, I thought we password protected that.
I mean, did talk a whole bunch of shit about Uncle Mark too.
That's true.
Fuckers.
By the way, what exactly were we talking about? Because now I'm fucking.
I think you were about to get into what the fuck Elon Musk is doing with. You were.
Matt Taibbi and
he shared the DMs, but
you were going to a different thing. Damn.
With the sidebar, the suggested use.
No.
Oh, the BBC. Yes, the BBC reporter. The reporter was like, I don't click on it because I see just like sexist and homophobic and misogynistic things or whatever. And he's like, really? Like what? Oh, I don't know. They're just in general and vaguely those things. No, like when? Well, I don't know. I haven't clicked on it in what do you say? Like I haven't clicked on it in a few weeks or a few months. And he's like, so wait a minute. So you're saying something you haven't looked at in a few weeks or months or whatever he said is full of homophobic and misogynistic and blah, blah, blah things, but you aren't really sure because you didn't know because you don't look? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, basically calling him out, like, your story's bullshit. You just lied to me. But just play the fucking video, man. That's what I sent today. It's a fucking minute-long video.
Oh, okay. All right.
You're just take longer to describe the fucking thing than just to play it. Oh, that's right. We won't be able to hear it.
Well, no, I'm terrible at navigating Facebook.
Some big boomer energy you're putting off.
Dude, I'm a pro on my phone. On the desktop, big boomer energy would be being a pro on my desktop on it.
Big boomer energy is being a pro on your desktop, not knowing how to log into your fucking phone app version of Facebook. So having to start a separate account on your phone so you can be on Facebook, then you're fucking Desktop account. Yes, I know people who've done this because they don't know how to link their account. Okay.
Oh my God, I'm just
Probably
trying to get back to
Facebook.
my regular page. How do I... Now I'm putting off Boomer Energy. Just get me back to my regular profile so I can get in my Messenger. He's put me in the Messenger for our page because I clicked on our page.
Oh, then you got to go change accounts. So go back to your Facebook and go to the little circle in the top right corner.
There we go. There's your big Boomer Energy. Okay, so...
It's okay. I've had to walk my grandma through this a couple times.
Here we go.
Describe a hateful thing.
Yeah, I mean, just content that will solicit a reaction, something that may include something that is slightly racist or slightly sexist, those kinds of things.
So you think if something is slightly sexist, it should be banned?
No,
is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying anything.
Can you name one example?
Honestly,
you can't name a single example.
I'll tell you why, because I don't actually use that For You feed anymore, because I just don't particularly like it.
Well, hang on a second. You said you've seen more hateful content, but you can't name a single example, not even one.
I'm not sure I've used that feed for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and
then how did you see the hateful content?
Because I've been using Twitter since you've taken it over for the last 6 months.
Okay, so then you must have at some point seen the For You hateful content. I'm asking for one example.
Right.
And you can't give a single one.
And I'm saying
then I say so that you don't know what you're talking about.
Really?
Yes, because you can't give me a single example of hateful content, and yet you claimed that the hateful content was high.
Well,
that's false.
No, what I claimed.
You just lied.
What? No.
Describe a hateful.
That guy was straining to do some explaining. And furthermore, I'll add to this, For You, check this out, is populated based on shit that you've already clicked on. Because I opened mine for Christopher Media. What comes up? Podcast I listen to. Something that's got the podcast tag in it. Titties. Cool, apparently. Some porn, wrestling, the Washington Post, Elon Musk. Like, yeah, it's all shit it's all based on shit I've clicked on before. So
in other words, that reporter is telling on himself, saying he clicks on outrage bait for him.
Yeah, he's looking for shit. If he's in fact truly seen it, because again, when Elon was asking him, give me an example, all this guy did was tap dance. Because I would think if you're fired up, right? If there's just all you do is open Twitter and just bile spews out of your phone, I think you would have some pretty good examples at the top of your head. And the guy was like, "Oh, well, I haven't used it for 3 or 4 weeks." Well, okay, so great. So you haven't used it since beginning of March, and you got no examples. You were that outraged that you've blocked it all out since the beginning of last month.
Yeah, exactly. And the reason that I bring this up right after I bring up the situation with Elon sharing DMs, that's a very complicated and convoluted situation to get into, and I think we're just better off just fucking glossing over it. If you really want to look into it, you can Google it, and there's plenty of articles online, and there probably only going to be more as the situation evolves. But to me, this is a prime example of they're using one thing that Elon Musk did to discredit something else he did, which is calling this reporter out. But they're saying, yeah, but can you really trust him? I mean, he shares DMs that he has with people. It's like, yeah, that's kind of a fucking shitty thing to do. And I mean, like, to me, man, I'll just quote you what someone said. I'm not going to screenshot it and post it. I mean, unless it's a public fucking, if it's open to the public, then you fucked up if you posted something you didn't want people to see. That's your problem, not me. But if it's a private message between me and somebody, I might paraphrase, or you know what I'm saying, tell this person I said this, they said this. I'm not going to screenshot it and post it or send it to people. That is a violation of trust, and it does speak to character. However, it doesn't mean he's wrong about calling this reporter out. And I know that this is very elementary stuff to hopefully a lot of people, but apparently it's not to some people. They're like, how can he be right about this thing? And he was wrong to do this. Gee, I don't know, because he's a flawed human being like the rest of us. But it's just another example of, like, I don't think, to be honest with you, I don't think outside of the news junkie circles and the, like, reporter kind of nerd culture circles, if there is something like that, that first story about him sharing the DMs would be that big of a deal if there wasn't something that they needed to tear down that he had done. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It'd be like, yeah, it's a tech article on some fucking website buried on like, at the very, like 3 scrolls down on the page, and you got like coders arguing over nonsense in the fucking comments or something. Shit that no one cares about. But no, we can use this to fucking knock them down for saying something. Okay, then do it. Especially, let's be honest here, this would be journalists defending other journalists, aka tribing up. And I mean, where has this push for everybody to tribe up been coming, if not from the media, for the last 15 years?
15?
Yeah, dude. I don't remember a whole lot of motherfucking, seriously. I know that people act like this is when dinosaurs roamed the earth, but even after 9/11, up until the fucking Iraq war started, yeah, there was this whole, we're American, we're all Americans, and blah, 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 blah. Sure, it was lip service, but there wasn't this, tribing up and everybody fucking...
That's true, yeah. No, I agree.
So, yeah, it's...
Thanksgiving dinners weren't being ruined because of who I voted for 3 Novembers ago.
But yeah, it once again, it's just, I'm like, okay. 2 stories come out. One is very much pushed to the front when you do a search on Elon Musk, at least when I did on Google and Yahoo. Yes, I picked those on purpose because I wanted to see what the normie fucking search engines were going to say. And another one I had to go digging for on both of those. Not so much on Yahoo, but a little bit on Google, which is the one where he basically calls out the reporter. Now, here's the funny part. There are stories about his interview with this reporter that don't mention this part at all.
Huh.
And I'm like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It seems like this would be a rather provocative part to put in there to get people to click on your fucking headlines. But they're too busy fucking tearing them down in the article to be like, well, he kind of did score a point. Or they dismiss it and go, well, on a technicality, he was like, so wait a minute, so technically you haven't been on in a month, and you said you've seen something recently, so blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm talking about. People trying to lawyer their way out of some shit.
Yes.
But yeah, shit like this is where there's no big overall theme that I'm trying to get across besides just pay attention to shit like this. This isn't an accident. And here's the thing. You don't have to like it. You don't even have to like Musk. You can like him, hate him, be indifferent about him. Just watch how they treat people in the media. I mean, I think it's a cliche at this point that the American media builds people up, tears them down, just to build them back up again.
Yeah, because 5 years ago, the media loved this guy.
Yes. How many times? And by the way, 25 years of Britney Spears, how many times has she been up and down that roller coaster with the media?
God.
Thank you.
Yeah. Did you see the last couple of months? People are like, hey, maybe we should have kept her in the conservatorship.
Right. Free Britney. Free Britney. Free Britney. And then put her back. Put her away.
Oh, shit. No, never mind. Yeah, put her back.
Hey, did y'all know this hoe is crazy? Yes, that's what we were trying to tell you, you dumb motherfuckers.
All right, I'll give you what you want then. No, I'm sorry.
That's just, once again, I just like to point that type of shit out. Because when I see it, it's like, it's blatant, and I don't think it's anything more personal than someone just doesn't like the man or doesn't like his politics. But, I mean, if it wasn't him, it'd be somebody else. That's what I mean when I say it's nothing more personal than you represent something that we find reprehensible. I think most people really have nothing personal against Elon Musk.
He's Trump 2.0.
Well, dude, I mean...
He's just not bought and paid for.
Well, if he is, we don't know who bought and paid for him because those people don't fucking show receipts for who they buy and fucking sell.
Yeah.
They just do it. I mean, if someone's like, I got Elon Musk in my back pocket, I don't know who's richer than him.
Oh, yeah, Elon was... richest guy in the world. Who's buying and selling him? Him?
Yeah.
I mean, he basically took a fucking bath on Twitter just to prove a point.
Mm-hmm. I know I've said it before. I love that it's burning down and everyone has got their pearls clutched about it. It is so great. And I know, trust me, it's one of the main ways people find our podcast, but I don't give a shit. Like, I really think that the bad that Twitter has done to society outweighs the good. And I love the fact that it is on fire. And hopefully within the next half a decade will be, hey, remember Twitter?
Okay. Yeah, yes, and I don't like Twitter. I've said that 100 times. But with Twitter, it gives me the whole, like, get rid of TikTok sort of vibes because TikTok lets anyone post anything. On Twitter, he lets anyone post anything. On Facebook, I can post anything that I'm allowed to post as long as that goes within the time frame that I'm allowed to post it. And then they can go back through my stuff and find stuff that I posted that I was allowed to say that now I'm not allowed to say, and they can strike me for that, even though it was years ago. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. That happens to me all the time. Not on Twitter, but Facebook.
Well, right, but like Twitter is still very much so, like, you can get on there and say whatever you want to say. And I think that's why they're coming at them hard with this whole hate speech thing. No, show me. No, it's not. You're just running your mouth.
Well, once again, we're back to if you don't affirm everything these people want, it's hate speech.
My whole point of this is that I'm rooting for Twitter to stay afloat, because I don't want to see everything just become whatever is being pushed right then and censored to the point that everything's being censored. Like, and if the Restrict Act passes, there goes TikTok, there goes a lot of stuff. But Twitter wouldn't be a part of that because they're not overseas. Like, they're not run by someone overseas.
Well, I mean, what's Twitter's big issue right now? I mean, the number I heard is that Elon Musk has lost $22 billion with this Twitter purchase so far. That's where it stands as of like a couple days ago. That's what I heard. NPR has left Twitter. Says they're never coming back.
Ooh.
We're taking our 9 million followers and we're going home. Or how many ever it is. And then the BBC said they're leaving Twitter.
Right. And we're all crying about that.
Well, I'm just 2 state-run media outlets leave Twitter. Okay. Why? Because he called you out for what NPR really is, and because he fucking called a BBC reporter on his horse shit. Yeah, he did it in a roundabout bitch way. I'll agree. It was kind of a fucking trollish internet way that Musk did it. But I don't think that reporter showed me anything that Musk should have acted in any better faith than he did.
Right.
He didn't deserve he didn't earn any better faith from Musk. If you're going to make an accusation, give me the details. Well, I don't have them. Well, can you get them? Well, no, I don't know. Well, wait, whoa. I don't know is a world away from, I don't have the details right here. You know what I'm saying?
We used to tell a host on this show, like, if you were going to throw out a wild-ass accusation, you better be prepared to back it up.
Or totally admit, this is speculation. Yeah. I'm just fucking spitballing. Preface what you're saying with the fact that I'm pulling this out of my ass. Take it with a huge chunk of salt. But I think the only thing better would have been if Musk would have been like, we can stop it. Of course, I don't know. That clip was edited together. He might have done this. If he was like, we can stop the interview and you can look up on Twitter right now and tell me the hate speech that you're talking about. I'd have loved it if he'd have done it, and Homeboy would have been because if Homeboy refused, I mean, it's a gotcha moment, but you want to play gotcha journalism, you fucked around and found out, didn't you? Or he picks it up and he can't find shit, or he picks it up and finds something and Musk is on the hot seat.
I'm going to open the main feed for Christopher Media because it's like a bunch of randos that we follow. So I'm going to click on the following and just see if I run into any type of hate speech.
Let me pull up Twitter for my... I'm assuming I'm still logged in.
I have a Twitter. Let's see what happens.
What am I looking for? The For You?
Yeah.
I'm looking at the people that Christopher Media follows just to see if anyone drops. I'm looking for hate speech.
Well, no, but if like up top it says home and it says For You and who you're following. Don't look at who you're following. Look at For You.
I already looked at For You. Like I said, that's all like shit that like I've based on things I've clicked on. No hate speech in there, by the way.
That's what I'm saying. Like. So, yeah, I'm looking at mine, and this is, by the way, Twitter is from when I was trying to do Twitter for sports thing. And it's literally all sports for me. All sports. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I've used Twitter for. I didn't even know Twitter had porn on it until a few years ago.
It's a lot of goofing on Kid Rock and Trump. Yeah, wow. Yeah. It's hate speech if you're a Republican.
Who to follow? Let's see who it recommends that I follow. Random podcast. Steven Crowder. There's a podcast I know. I've heard the name. Bunch of sports and college teams. NVIDIA for computer stuff. Sports.
Yeah, mine's all like Detroit media personalities all of a sudden.
Yeah. So, I mean, once again, what's yours?
All politics.
And that's okay. So, I mean, but my point is I maintain that reporter told on himself. Either he's A, combing Twitter looking for offensive fucking things to his sensibilities for stories or just so to get his outrage quota for the day up or whatever, or he's full of shit and he never saw any of it. There's no two ways about that. There's no two ways. If he saw it, he's looking at it. He's looking for this shit. I'm not looking for it. Nothing in there, it could be nothing in my recommended could be even considered conservative except for, and I'm talking 6-7 full page scroll down recommendations to follow with Steven Crowder. But that was also after like a bunch of liberal podcasts. So that's what I'm saying, man. Like, that's not journalism. That is literally someone sitting there going, trust me, bro. That's my source. Trust me, bro.
Yeah, and my answer, anytime anybody says that, takes an attitude with me, it's like, well, the fuck are you? Why should I trust you? You got to build your credibility with me. And shit like this ain't building your credibility with me. Like, I've had proper media training. Like, I now have like disdain for something I had training I used to work in. Like, because this is not, like, there's a journalistic code of ethics. It has been shat on. It has been set on fire. Toilet paper, whatever your metaphor for destroying something. I mean, that shit is over. Look it up. Let's see what it is. Be reminded of.
Well, this is what I try to tell people when they're like, well, you know that Fox News or MSNBC, and I'm like, you watch any of that? I can't really have a conversation with you, man. Like, seriously, that all that news, all that cable news these days, I think, is it like the WWE? Like, they're like, well, we're entertainment, and that's their fucking out. Like, that's their loophole that where they can get away with the shit they say, because under the old journalism fucking, like, code of ethics, I think most of these fucking news agencies would be held pretty much they'd be walking to the gallows, is what I'm saying. You get my point? Like, their journalism's careers would be coming to an end very quickly. Like, I hope you can sell insurance with a journalism degree type thing.
All right, this is from, oh God. I realize it's from a Wikipedia article that's kind of an aggregator of like the American, it's of the American and European journalistic ethic codes, and it's kind of summing them up. Under accuracy and standards for factual reporting. Reporters are expected to be as accurate as possible given the time allotted to story preparation and the space available to seek reliable sources. Properly using their sources and using accurate quoting and use of words from interview or conversation. That one's shot out of the water daily. Events with a single eyewitness are reported with attribution. Events with two or more independent eyewitnesses may be reported as fact. Controversial facts are reported with attribution. Again, that is shot out of the water every fucking day. Independent fact-checking by another employee of the publisher is desirable. In 2018, the action plan was created to help check information more effectively to hopefully get rid of false information. I would argue maybe not an employee, someone who's an employee of the publisher. But then I don't know, then you're getting your information out there. Corrections are published when errors are discovered.
Yeah, they're published, all right.
These corrections are called corrigendum in newspapers. They feature after on the next issue published. There's terrible grammar in this article. Defendants at trial are treated only as having allegedly committed crimes. That died in the 90s. Two words for you. Or two letters for you, OJ. Until conviction, when their crimes are generally reported as fact, unless that there's serious controversy about wrongful conviction. In most publications, when defendants are convicted or pleaded guilty, shouldn't be pled guilty, they will replace allegedly with convicted of, or pleaded guilty to, or found guilty in the reporting to avoid the small chance of a defamation issue in the event of a wrongful conviction. Opinion surveys and statistical information deserve special treatment to communicate in precise terms any conclusions, to contextualize the results, and to specify accuracy, including estimated error and methodological criticism or flaws. Through this information can properly analyzed and used without heavy bias. Right. Journalism today is built. That's just like someone's opinion, man. I'm not reading that. All right. That's just under... Okay, whatever. Point made. I don't have to keep going into sections. I mean, they're done. Journalistic ethics. Peace out. Bye-bye. It's all about getting it first, being the first article out there, and we'll worry about going back and, covering those pesky facts later on. Yeah. It's shoot first, ask questions later now.
The problem is you can't operate in a world that operates like shoot first, ask questions later if you have journalistic integrity. Because if you fuck up and you have journalistic integrity, the first thing you do is admit you made a mistake. Matt Taibbi got into it with one of these cable talking head guys, and basically this guy was throwing out shit, nitpicking stuff that he claims Matt Taibbi had gotten wrong. Now, they argued about certain things, and Matt Taibbi didn't give an inch. But when he got to the one thing that he was wrong about, he immediately said, no, you're right. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. Now, I'm going to tell you, I saw one clip from that interview run at the front, the middle, and at the end of every news story about that interview. Which one do you think, what clip from that interview do you think I saw the most?
The one where he said he was wrong.
Absolutely. I mean...
Because haters.
He was literally going, yes, you're right. I made a mistake. Oh, there you go. Everything he's done goes back to what I was talking about with the Elon Musk thing. Well, because he's wrong about this, or because he did something that's a little, he must be wrong about this as well.
All right, Jess, that's twice now.
What?
You said his name, and you dropped out for like 3 seconds, Rich. And then you came back.
Oh, did I?
Yeah.
Okay.
You said Elon Musk, and then you're gone for 3 seconds, and then you came back twice now.
I guess we're on his watch list.
Right? Dude,
How about this motherfucker? You can try to buy us off before you try to threaten us.
Hey, I defend you, man. I think you're a smart dude. I think you're getting a raw deal on this whole Twitter thing. Come on, buddy.
Can't we get a dude dressed like, he was one of the bank robbers or jewelry store robbers in Pulp Fiction, not Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs, to show up and just be like, here's the keys to your new Tesla. Stop talking about Musk. You never know. I might be a hard nut to crack, but I might be a cheap one to crack also.
And listen, Elon,
come on, man.
Of all the billionaires' asses I would kiss, it would be yours, because you're the one person who's got the shot of getting us off this fucking planet.
You're the billionist of the billionaires.
You could get us to Mars. Be like, remember when we were on Earth? Bunch of bitches. But anyway.
But yes, yeah. Like I said, once again, the tactic of, well, they're wrong about this. They must be wrong about everything else. Or they at least heavily imply that, and it's like I said, I watched a few news stories about that interview, and they basically edited it to the whole interview was overcast with, and going back to their baseline was Matt Taibbi going, you're right, I was wrong about that. And I'm just like, wow, man, wow. And these are fellow journalists, quote unquote journalists.
Sniping each other.
I mean, let's be honest. Charlie LaDuff, Matt Taibbi, oh shit. Homeboy he just reported on the fucking pipeline. Shit. God. I'm forgetting his name. Anyways, like serious journalists. Journalists who go, I don't give a fuck who's in power and I don't care what party they're part of. I care about getting the truth out there. Those aren't the same thing as these fucking cable news fucking dipshits that are tearing down these people. Those true journalists, I don't think, would put each other through this shit. But these cable talking heads, hell yeah, they got their marching orders. Tear down any journalist who threatens our fucking bottom line. I mean, which is funny because Matt Taibbi is a subscription-based journalist on Substack. And Crystal and Sagar on Breaking Points brought up a good point. They were like, people like, why is traditional media upset over subscription-based journalism?
Because they can't get a piece of them. Because Matt Taibbi gets to make all the money. There's no middleman.
So what is once again, so why can't we make money off of it? Why can't we sell because Matt Taibbi, apparently his subscription is like $4 or $5 a month. And you get like all his shit, all his Substack articles and all that stuff. I'll be honest with you, at the moment, I'm too poor to subscribe to any motherfucking thing. So I don't have any of this shit.
Is Substack like a Patreon, but for
journalism? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a way for independent journalists not like attached to any one, major company or paper or magazine, whatever the fuck.
Okay.
Yes.
I mean, I'd in fact trust the people on Substack more because they don't have a master.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. Like, instead of looking at why these journalists are succeeding on Substack and emulating and innovating based off of of their success, get rid of them. It's easier to crush the competition than it is for us to actually, work to actually improve our product, make our customers want to give us a measly $4 or $5 a month. Once again, I realize I'm weird. No one else sees the world this way. I get it. How dare I say fucking major corporations should, if they're going to look at an individual, small, fucking independent journalist and go, we want a slice of his pie. Well, why don't you fucking do what he does? And I don't know, actually have good journalism.
Yeah, right. Well, it's like,
what are you gonna say?
Well, it's kind of like in the whole, throwing it back to the whole Bud Light conversation, right? Like, instead of like doing this crazy marketing campaign, why don't you like make better beer?
What were you gonna say, Jess?
I don't necessarily think that it's that they want a piece of the pie. I feel kind of like a broken record a little bit, because I feel like maybe I'm being short-sighted or tunnel-visioned on this one point. But I think that it's because they don't want people they don't want true journalism. Because then it's not controlled. It's not about necessarily the money, but it's about the control of the information.
I agree there. Because you don't have a master, you can't control the message. Right? Matt Taibbi's rogue, right? He's a rogue agent at this point. You know, the editor at Rolling Stone or wherever he's worked can't control what he's writing now. He writes what Matt Taibbi writes. You don't like it, fuck him. Or fuck you. He's like, I'll be fine. Like, it's still going to get out there. It's still going to get written. Plenty of people are going to consume it. You don't want to publish it? Eat a big bag of Matt Taibbi dicks.
That's where I've been going with just a lot of stuff. It's just the control of what we're allowed to consume, and that's why I see like I've seen Substack come up a couple times. I know people use Patreon. I've seen people go as far as to use OnlyFans that you can subscribe to, so that they can just say what they want to say without being censored.
And the bonus, they get to have their titties out.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it takes Casual Friday to a whole new level.
Shit is fucked up. Here's my titties.
Yes. Depending on which way you swing, it's going to help or it's going to hurt.
Right.
We're here. But no, I think that's the whole thing, is to control our information.
Yeah. I don't think it's ever been so more evident. I mean, again, the Twitter files.
Yes.
No one was upset. Everyone who was screaming about First Amendment and freedom of the press during the Trump administration can lick my balls, because it was shown right in front of your face that the government was manipulating social media, and you didn't fucking care because they're on your team. So lick my taint.
Yeah, okay. That's pretty much what I was going to say anyway. So yeah, we'll leave it at that. I don't need to expand on my taint.
Your taint?
Yeah. No, I was looking at the the issue between Musk and Taibbi, and it does involve the Twitter files and Substack, and it is just a fucking basket of snakes intertwined together to try to get into this late into the show. So yeah.
Well, it's not like we're not going to talk about Elon again.
No, there's that also. But one of the things that I did think was interesting was that the article that I was looking at, which I guess I can do this. We'll fucking throw the article name out there in case anybody wants to. It's theverge.com. Don't know anything about him besides this article. The name of the article: Elon Musk tweets and deletes DMs from Matt Taibbi over his Substack stint. Anyways, Matt Taibbi has apparently 362,000 subscribers on Substack at $5 a pop.
Matt Taibbi's doing all right.
That's not bad.
Wait, how many?
362,000.
Damn. And is that for a month?
Substack-based publication. It's Racket News. Hold on, let's see here if it gives me any info.
They pay him how much a month?
The subscription is every subscription is, I think, they said $5 a month in the news. Segment I watched about this.
You told me Matt Taibbi brings in $1.8 million a month from Substack.
I can believe it. You can chop half of that off for fucking taxes, and then he's got employees. Oh yeah, I'm sure anything to do with editing, video editing, audio editing that he wants done, he's paying the top dollar people to come in and do it. He ain't getting no hack to do it.
Speaking of somebody telling someone to lick their taint, that's him to Rolling Stone magazine.
Oh, no, for sure. And how Substack works is, they were talking about this on Breaking Points either today or the day before. When Substack first come out, they went to people like Matt Taibbi and they were like, look, here's the deal. We'll give you like $300,000 to be on Substack for your first year. Like, we'll guarantee you $300,000 so you won't lose. Like, you can dedicate the first year of just growing your Substack brand. You don't have to worry about losing your house and, not paying your mortgage and your kids getting thrown out of the private school they go to, whatever. And after that, then you're kind of on your own. So, I mean, if that's the case, he pissed all over that first year's fucking earnings. I mean, dude, if he was getting $1 prescription, he made over $300,000.
Yeah.
And if that's yearly, by the way, if that's I think it's $5 a month.
And that's what I'm saying. So let's times, that's $21.7 million a year.
Damn.
Yeah.
I feel like podcasting for two. I feel like Drew looking up net worth. What is that site that he says he's worth more than he
Celebrity Net Worth?
Yeah.
$60.
They say he's worth 2.5 mil.
Just liquid?
I don't know.
Is that just what he's got in the bank?
This is just what Idol Net Worth says. Idol as in don't worship. It's a false idol, by the way. Yeah. Okay. 17 mil. 80. Okay. They say he's worth 17 mil. They say his salary is $83,000 a month. Yeah. Okay. That's celeb worth, not net. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that is annually. If that's annually, that's still pretty damn good, man. For an independent journalist.
Right.
I mean, maybe he does do all his own editing and everything like that. I mean, I had a buddy whose wife at one point, while she was waiting for a work visa, because she was from out of the country, while she was waiting for a work visa to come through here in the States, she was doing freelance work and basically proofreading articles and speeches and stuff that were given in public and published in publications all over the world. So I just assumed like he's probably using someone like that. And she got paid pretty damn good money, dude. We're talking hundreds of dollars per hour to edit that shit. And I don't think she was like a big name in that world. So yeah, I don't know.
Good for Matt Taibbi.
Yeah, point is, holy shit, really, straight up, good for him. Because you know what? That's one motherfucker that, like I said, man, it's easy to dunk on people who are so fucking, like, earnest and genuine about shit. And Matt Taibbi is not a gifted speaker as far as in the debate style. He's not that type of journalist. He's just come out there, lay out the cold, hard facts, and he doesn't care who, truth is like rain, doesn't give a fuck who it falls on. Oh, that's the type of journalist he is.
He's Nepo baby?
Is he?
Taibbi's father, Mike Taibbi, is an NBC television reporter of mixed Filipino and Native Hawaiian descent.
I don't know if that makes him a Nepo baby, dude. A fucking a blow-dried jerk-off talking head. Like, if he's Dad sounds like a fucking talking head. Matt Taibbi sounds like is a journalist. There's a difference, dude. I mean, as much as I liked Bill Bonds, he's not fucking Charlie LaDove. He wasn't, I should say.
His dad was on Dateline.
He's a fucking newsreader. Well, no, I guess he could be a reporter.
He was at NBC for like 20 fucking years. Or almost 20 years.
Wait a minute. Yes, Matt Taibbi's never hid that. He's talked about his dad working at NBC. It would kind of be like how fucking Howard Stern's dad worked at NBC, that type of thing.
NBC.
And I mean, does this sound like Howard Stern's dad got him his fucking career?
No.
Even to hear Howard Stern's dad talk about it, he was like, he's a fucking idiot. I'm surprised he could do anything. Like, did not sound like he supported his son's career, so.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Leftovers. Or the DMV.
Number 97.
Or house cleaning. Or
Chumba Casino always brings the fun. Play over 100 different games online for free from anywhere. You could redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. Live the Chumba life. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
leftovers. Or the DMV.
Number 97.
Or house cleaning. Or
Chumba Casino always brings the fun. Play over 100 different games online for free from anywhere. You could redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. Live the Chumba life. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details. Leftovers. Or
The DMV,
Number 97.
or house cleaning, or Chumba Casino always brings the fun. Play over 100 different games online for free from anywhere. You could redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. Live the Chumba life. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Anyways, moving on. What else do we have on the docket?
We have Justin Jones, the expelled Tennessee lawmaker, saying, and I quote, "I was voted out for being an uppity Negro," end quote. And that is in relation to the 3 Tennessee House members who got expelled from the House for leading an anti-gun protest for stricter gun laws during whenever the House was in session.
Yeah, have you been? Well, I'm sure you've been following. You live there. Have you been following this whole thing?
Yes.
Well, like, I don't understand why these guys are surprised at why the vibe they were going for with this whole protest was like civil disobedience, right? Like, they did it in like the middle of a vote. They busted out bullhorns. They had people come in. So, like, why are you shocked when you perpetrated an act of civil disobedience that there's now consequences coming down? Well,
Did you see that they were 2 of them were reinstated?
Yeah, and when this whole story started, I believe in that article it said they'll most likely be they'll still stay there while they're looking for the replacements. They'll be allowed to fill the seats as while they're. So yeah, I don't understand what all the fucking.
Well, they were expelled and then they were brought back, and they can run again, like once it's election season again. But
yeah, let's talk about the guy saying he was expelled for being an uppity Negro. Who said that? You?
No, Justin Jones.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like him. Like you said it, Justin Jones. Like I don't think that's the committee's official reason.
Right. I'd like to see the document that was written on.
I think it's because you broke protocol and led a protest in the middle of a House vote. I mean,
it sounds dancing dangerously close to an insurrection, does it not?
I mean, from the inside, even.
Hey, first of all, I'm going off his direct quote. I don't want us to be accused of misquoting somebody. From thehill.com, direct quote. I basically had a member call me an uppity Negro, unquote. Quote, it's not about me, it's about the 78,000 people I represent, unquote. Quote, these people, one of the most diverse districts being silenced. These young people, one of the most diverse districts being silenced because they're upset that we don't fall in line to their narrative of what Tennessee should be, and that is a multiracial democracy, unquote. All right, first of all, let me start with this. I basically had a member call me an uppity Negro. Did it happen or not, sir?
Yeah, basically and actually happening are 2 different things.
This is why I fucking hate the boomers and the older Gen Xers. I feel, and basically, that doesn't mean shit to anybody. It only means shit to you because your parents and the people, spineless pieces of shit that they were, that fucking raised you, that the state paid to watch you for 12 fucking years, didn't have the balls to tell you the reality of this shit. This is ridiculous.
Young. He is young. He's like 27.
Well, I'm looking at his picture and I'm like, okay, first of all, homeboy, Bone Thugs and Harmony called. They want their fucking haircuts back. I mean, what the fuck, bro? Why don't you go find Uncle Charles and what they did to his dog, y'all? All right? I mean, what the fuck, man? It's the first of the month. Get a haircut. Knock that shit down. Second of all, yeah, it's like, dude, you do dumb shit like this. You want to be a revolution? This is something I hate. Everybody wants to fucking be the martyr, but no one wants to die for it. It makes me fucking sick. Everybody wants to be Rosa Parks, but no one wants to be the people that got their ass beat before Rosa Parks. Mm-hmm. Oh, so you only want to fight the power when it's on your terms? That's mighty Caucasian of you.
Kind of seems that's how it goes now, huh?
Yep.
So it's just I basically had a member call me an uppity. I basically. The rest of the fucking sentence after that's horse shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah. When I see I basically, it's like, okay, you're projecting your fucking feeling onto it because it ain't about what happened. If you're saying if it's not about what happened, you're projecting your feeling onto it. That's when I hear the word basically. That's what I'm hearing. It's what you felt happened. Well, it's not what happened, because I'm willing to bet if he would have called you an uppity Negro in a room full of people, that wouldn't have went over well, especially in a room full of mixed people.
Yeah, but well, basically it happened, and I feel this way. And then you add in, well, dog whistle. Well, we all know what he meant. So now we don't even need proof. This is why that first sentence, that really fucking, that spun me on this story. I'm like, this motherfucker, you know what? I'm going to stop talking before I get us in trouble.
Well, basically, I have a 12-inch cock.
Can you, as a Tennessee, can the state of Tennessee do a recall on someone like him?
I have no idea. I think it's not the state of Tennessee. He represents a district in Nashville.
Yeah, no. But what I'm saying still, basically what I'm saying is, you want to throw accusations like that, I hope someone steps up and makes him go, okay, since you're going to throw the accusation out, now you got to prove it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my job to prove I didn't say something. It's your job to prove I did say it.
Yeah, room full of witnesses. Get someone to corroborate it.
Yeah.
And if you can't, then find him on some kind of misconduct and bounce his ass out. Set the example. I don't care. It wouldn't matter to me if he was a Republican either. Do not give a fuck. This bullshit's got it. No, you are. It's never going to happen. I mean, since we're dreaming, I don't know. It'd be nice if, Santa was real and he'd come and give me all the presents I didn't get as a kid. And, since I'm fucking living in fairy fucking tale land, talking all this shit. Because it's amazing to me. It's amazing to me. Because this is the same level of politician that the first trans fucking person elected to Congress was, right? They're both Congress people, right?
House. Yes, House of Representatives.
House, not Senate, not Senate is what I meant. They're not senators. And so they're the same level, and it's like, when she came out and they were like, so as a first trans, but are you going to blah, 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 blah. She was like, no, I was elected to represent all my constituents. I'm going to represent all of them to the best of my ability, not just the trans ones. And that got such a blip on the radar. It was just think, and that was it, done and over with. This type of divisive shit, I've already heard more about this shit than I heard about her fucking being elected. And she was the first one in supposedly the history of what state was it again? South Carolina, wasn't it, Chris? Something like that.
I forget. That's how.
It was a southern state, because I remember we were all like, really? Okay. But it was like a coastal southern state. So that's different down south.
It's true.
It is true.
But no, yeah, it's just, once again, it irks. God, it irks me. God, it really irks me. Like, dude, this is such a non-story. What do you fucking whatever? Okay.
Well, it's a really.
By the way, I'd like to just point this out. Starting reading the article, starts off at the title, headline, expelled Tennessee lawmaker Justin Jones. I was voted out for being an uppity Negro. 4 paragraphs. They don't tell you what he was expelled out of, but he lays out his case and says that he was basically discriminated against in the first 4 paragraphs. And this is The Hill. The Hill isn't like super biased one way or the other in my experience. Could be. I'm sure there's people arguing, with themselves listening right now. That's bullshit, but Hill's pretty much straight up in my experience. Chris, what about you?
Yeah, that's why they've survived the culling over the years. They're still there.
Yeah.
It's down to like them and Axios, like the BBC. Yeah.
So that means in this interview, whoever wrote this article, if they're pulling true to their journalistic integrity, they're letting you know that this was the very first fucking thing and the most important thing this guy wanted to get across with this interview. That somebody was racist to him. He thinks basically the same thing as a lynching, mostly kind of.
Yeah.
It is something that Tennessee obviously is talking about a lot. And we're seeing things like a prominent real estate person posted this thing and they were like, Do Better Tennessee and then tagged in or retweeted or copied or whatever they did, someone saying, like, pulling their offer on a house they were going to buy, saying that they couldn't come here because of our racist politics. Because obviously this whole thing is just racism. That's the only reason we did that. Never mind what he did. This is racism. And also, they expelled 3 people. One person was white. That one's not getting a whole lot of talk.
Well, she didn't get expelled. That's why it's racist. The 2 black guys got expelled and she didn't.
I thought she got expelled too.
She got like censured or whatever. But no, my guess is before you guys fly the race card, she's been around longer than you. You guys are brand new. She's been around for a while. She had people on her side that were voting for her. Duh.
Okay. No, I was sure.
It's like, you're the new guys at work. She's been there for like 10 years. That's why she survived.
Damn, no. Okay, I was totally mistaken on that. My bad. How much I pay attention to state politics. But I've just seen so much fodder about it, about how, we're so disappointed in my state and how racist my state is. You can't go look at January 6th. You can't just barge in the middle of voting.
Yeah. You can't.
Like that's a thing now. It's cost a lot of taxpayers a lot of money and a lot of brain space. And again, use the litmus test on this. What if it was a bunch of people who were coming in to protest for the other side? What if it was some Republicans who were leading people in the middle of it to come in and fight for less gun laws? What would we have done to them?
It's white supremacy, and it's the biggest threat to domestic terrorism since the 9/11 hijackers and
exactly.
Blah.
Just dumb. It's just, I don't know how people don't see through this shit. I really don't.
Because I think a lot of people don't want to see. One, they can't see through it because they're too busy trying to see what they want to see. They want to see something that's going to prove what they already believe and shit on the people they don't like. And if you don't present that to them, they will go find it. And if they can't find it, they will create it. And that's just human nature. I mean, I know highly intelligent people that cannot get out of this tribal mindset. And I hate it. And I mean, like, intelligent people I've sat and talked any subject. No subject was off limits. All of a sudden now, if I bring up a subject, they get uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Like, you're intelligent enough to know the difference between talking about a subject and endorsing a subject. Just because, what if I owned like a copy of like Che in Africa? Would that make me a communist any more than owning a copy of Mein Kampf would make me a Nazi? If I own a copy of the Bible and the Satanic Bible, what's that make me?
Confused.
What if I own a Catholic version of the Bible and a Protestant version of the Bible?
You're reading a lot of the same stories.
Just a few details changed up.
Mm-hmm.
It is sad, but I mean, here's the thing: it's hard to do because it really is. Because at least when you pick a side, everything's laid out for you. You know what you're supposed to do. You know what's expected of you. You know what you're supposed to believe. You know what your talking points are. You know what the attack points are on your enemy. Hit. Are you afraid of a beer can? Big tough man. You talk about snowflakes, and yet here you are melting down over a beer.
Ooh, I saw a good meme that would be a good retort to that. Okay, are you afraid of a syrup bottle?
Yeah. Someone had one of like, what are you so upset about? A picture and some words on some metal. And then it had the Duke boys sitting on the General Lee, and they're like, yeah, we've been kind of wondering the same thing. And I'm like, it's kind of...
Yeah, I saw a meme. It had the woke, the triggered chick that's in all the memes, It had Bud Light. It was... What was the quote? It was like, if you don't like it, buy something else. And then it had a picture of the Aunt Jemima bottle, and then they were all pissed off.
I saw that one.
But see, that's what I'm talking about. Even intelligent people get sucked into that petty tit for tat bullshit. And it's like, look, when it's your side getting fucked with, AKA the Harry Potter game, all right, it's an outrage. When their side gets fucked with, oh my God, they're making mountains out of molehills. And I'm sitting here like, these are people I know are intelligent, and they're falling for this fucking childhood, like 5-year-old fucking argument tactic. it's just scary. It really is. It really is. And you're right. And as far as wanting to see it, I don't want to fucking see it half the time anymore.
Yeah.
Sure. I believe me, everybody on the old show at one point was like, man, this is going to be a little bit much. This is just nonsense after like, can we take a break? Like sometimes we do shows and be like, let's not even talk about anything in the news. Let's just talk about movies and music and shit like that for a whole fucking show. Like we'd start going over the week's itinerary and just be like, no.
Yeah.
So it's like I can't do all this shit again. I can't do it again. And I mean that's us. We do this out of we do it however you feel about the quality of it. We do it out of the love of it. As far as I know, none of us are collecting a paycheck off this shit. We damn sure ain't filing taxes off this shit. So yeah, I mean,
well, kind of, sort of.
Well, I mean,
I get to deduct stuff.
That end, what I'm saying is, I'm not like,
Oh yeah, no, I'm not issuing any the I-9s, the
Yes.
contractor ones, yeah. But if you hit the donate button, I could. Just saying. Maybe we should get 362,000 subscribers on Substack.
Listen,
for $5.
You understand that would actually require show prep on all three of our parts, right?
Let's do it for $250 and just make like $900,000 a month.
I would like to point out I had my list written early today.
$1, $362,000 a month.
Yeah.
50 cents. You see where I'm going with this?
I mean, who would miss 50 cents coming out of their bank account?
All right.
Right?
We should play like the fucking Sarah McLachlan music now for 50 cents a month.
The sad animal music. We quote all of Patrice O'Neal's fucking act. Like, hi, I'm White
Lady.
I'm here to say N-words probably did it.
If you do not play In the Arms of an Angel over that segment.
Well, no, that's the thing. He's like, you ever be watching Three's Company reruns at like 3 a.m. and them sad ass animal commercials come on with that music out of nowhere, and they just slow up a kitten turning around. There's a pencil sticking out the kitten's head, and you're like, who is stabbing kittens? And then they have fun facts. 5 million kittens a year stabbed in the face with pencils. Who is stabbing kittens in the face with pencils?
Psychopaths.
Like no, legit. But another thing, by the way, this is an old Sam Kinison bit. Like, when they go to Africa and they show the starving kids, they be like, look at little Haji. He has nothing to eat. The only thing to drink is the mud shit water that he's plopping around in. For 25 cents a day, you could feed him. He's like, or the cameraman who's standing right there could give him one of the sandwiches he packed for the day. How about that? I mean, you're fucking right there. Oh, God. Anyway.
Yeah, you can eat at the airport. Give him your sandwich.
All right, we have one more topic left. It's not even a funny one. We didn't have any real good funny ones this time. There was a Florida teacher who was fired for asking students to write their own obituaries on the day of the shooting, the Covenant shooting.
Why was he fired?
For asking students to write their own obituaries.
Like, was this planned or just coincidental?
Hold on, let me grab the article.
To me, it sounds like he was trying to, riff off of current events and drive the point home that, it's not all about you, blah, 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 blah. Get outside of your own, understand how this would affect the people around you, et cetera, et cetera. That's what he claims. To write their own obituaries ahead of an active shooter drill on campus, the instructor... Yes, a Florida teacher was fired hours after he asked students to write their own obituaries ahead of an active shooter drill on campus. Psychology teacher Jeffrey Keene told NBC News he believes he used the proper judgment for the assignment to 11th and 12th graders during first period Tuesday at the high school in Orlando. After being told about the drill on Monday, Keene said he felt the obituaries would help the students reflect on their lives during the school shooter scenario. This isn't a way to upset you or anything like that, he recalled telling the class. It wasn't to scare them or make them feel like they were going to die, but just to help them understand what's important in their lives and how they want to move forward with their lives and how they want to pursue things in their journey. My second period, Keen, who had been hired in January, said students from the class were telling him they were being interviewed by school officials about the assignment. For the end of seventh period, he had been fired. If you can't talk real to them, then what's happening in this environment? In my mind, I've done nothing wrong. Now, this is Orange County, Florida. I have a little bit of experience with Orange County, Florida. They are rather officious and as far as their school district stuff goes, as far as like fucking around, any type of misconduct type shit, in my experience. So bad school district to pull this shit in and a bad state to pull this shit in.
Well, I remember once you read it, I remember reading this going, oh, this fucking idiot. Yeah, no, this is somebody that did something like provocative and got called on it. Now it's going, what? And I remember too, like, and it's kind of a theme for the evening, or at least in the last few minutes, because, dude, all over this guy's article, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. I don't think I did anything incorrectly.
Yeah, I said, well, the people who employed you fucking disagree with you.
But
here's the deal. Dude, you're 63. You're the epitome of boomer.
Yeah.
Okay? For him to say, I know hindsight is 20/20, but I obviously didn't think a 16, 17, or 18-year-old would be offended or upset by talking about something we were already talking about. Have you met children today? We were talking about fucking safe spaces and that type of bullshit nonsense a decade plus ago now. It's only gotten worse. It ain't gotten... I'm an English major. It ain't gotten better. It hasn't gotten any better. That's not proper English either. But do you think that shit somehow just magically went away? And he's a fucking teacher and he's 63. Dude, you should fucking know better. I applaud him, I guess, for trying to get these fucking dunderheaded motherfuckers outside of their fucking bullshit comfort zone and bubbles and make them actually consider some shit outside of themselves. The problem is that type of assignment 25, 30 years ago when I was in high school was fine for a psychology or sociology class back then, not today. It's just not. You can't talk about any shit like this. You can't do this. You can't expect students. This is something that I don't even know if you could get away with students who aren't going for a graduate degree or above. I'm saying, I mean, you could do it. You could do it at the college level, but I'm saying you'd have a shitload of students talking about, I'm traumatized because he said to pretend I was dead.
But again, too, you do it on a day of an active shooter drill and you're like, what?
That's what I'm
like. Come on, buddy.
Yeah, that's the smart ass shit. That's I didn't do anything. That's what I hate. That's the shit that people do, and that's totally acting in bad faith. And then they fucking want to attack and hold everybody else to a standard that they refuse to hold themselves to. I mean, I'm not saying that this is this guy's deal, but in my experience, people that pull that what did I do type shit, that's their deal. If someone else pulled this, he'd be one of the first ones to fucking have the pitchfork and the fucking torch and ready to go. Or like I said, I'm not saying him. This type of person is what I'm saying, in my experience, not him personally. But I mean, also, I can't stress, yes, Florida is to put it, I guess, politely, a battleground state at the moment. And I have a very hard time believing that a 63-year-old teacher who says he's a new hire in that school district in that state was unaware of that fact. So part of me, if we want to get really cynical about it, it's like, is this some sort of like, fuck it, I'm about to take retirement anyways, let me martyr myself on the way out the door? Because if you read the article also, I think I might have skipped over this. By second period, no, I read that. He's not a member of the union. That's the thing. I don't think he has any recourse about being let go.
No, he doesn't.
So, yeah. So it kind of sounds like, like the really suspicious part of me is like, was this dude trying to like, well, fuck it, I'm coming to the end of my career. I might as well go out on a bang and make a fucking point.
Oh, hey, I'm retiring. And by the way, fuck Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, because, I mean, let's be honest. You took a job at 63 at a high school in Florida in a very visible area of Florida. We'll just put that as far as Orange County. And then pulled this. Yeah, I mean, like, it does come off as performative and it does come out as some sort of stunt. And I mean, here's the deal. I like the idea, and I don't think it's I mean, we're talking 11th and 12th grade. We're talking 17, 18, in some cases, probably 19-year-old kids. Excuse me. 2 of those fucking ages are adults. I mean, if we still had the draft, you could legally be fucking drafted at 17 if you're not in high school. So is it really that far-fetched to ask kids of that age to contemplate the reality of their own death and kind of put that into perspective, give them some sort of perspective on life that takes them out of their fucking, like I said, their bullshit little bubble world they created for themselves?
Right, and he was a psychology teacher. So, like, it's not like a math teacher doing this to make a political point, you know?
No, and believe me, there are plenty of fucking examples I've heard of over the years. I mean, this is whatever, it's all anecdotal, but and I'm not making any accusations, but I've heard plenty of friends who've worked in the teaching field talk about there are activist teachers who will take jobs just to get in and shoehorn their fucking point of view, but they take the jobs and subjects they have no affinity to teach just to get in there and be like, yeah, so what are we supposed to be learning in math today? We're going over the Fibonacci sequence or some shit. Yeah, okay. So anyways, you know that America is just fascist to the core, right? Yeah. So that's what we're going to learn today in class. That type of shit. So, yeah. But, I mean, I don't know, man. This is just one of those stories that I'm just like, I kind of want to see what the fucking kids wrote. If he wrote anything down as an assignment, or if it was just a verbal fucking assignment. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I guess I'm leaning towards he probably did this as some type of stunt to make a point.
Yeah, did they go rogue from his lesson plan? Because you're like, as far as I know, teachers, you're supposed to like get approved like what you're going to be teaching.
Yeah, you're supposed to stay on syllabus, stay on book or lesson plan, whatever the fuck. Mm-hmm. But I mean, like, I kind of respect it. I kind of respect a teacher that's like willing to challenge his students to the point where he's willing to upset them, because here's the deal. I'm not sorry you're upset, because you know what? You're in no danger.
Right.
I asked you to consider
feelings.
Yes, exactly. I asked you to consider a hypothetical situation and you're having a complete mental and emotional meltdown. That should tell. I just taught you more about yourself than you probably would have learned in 5 years of stumbling around in fucking college, getting drunk and fucking random people. Mm-hmm. I mean, but there's also the very real possibility that he's just an asshole. It was like, I'm going to make a point about school shootings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely depends on like the context at which he presented the assignment.
I'd say in 2023, what you just said is probably the more likely scenario.
But the interesting part is that, because, and this is a subject for another day, but I guess I'll tease future fucking episodes. I'm starting to see a lot of millennial-made media, especially like on YouTube and online and stuff. It's basically going after fucking Zoomers. Like boomers went after millennials. So prepare for that to be coming. But I kind of wonder if his students, because Gen Z from the like I said, those type of videos where the millennials are like, well, this is the generation coming up behind us. This is what's wrong with them. A lot of the criticism seems to be that they live in so many levels of irony, they don't even understand that they're in the middle. Like, they don't even understand what irony is because they're just buried under so many levels of it. Mm-hmm. And the point of the lesson to instill a fear of being shot to death at school could have been easily lost on half this class, because they actually took away from it like, oh, wait a minute. So this isn't a movie. This isn't fucking a television show. I'm not the star of this shit. This is all fleeting. This could end at any moment. And I better make the most of whatever fucking time I have, because I ain't getting a second shot. There's no reset button on life, which would be kind of based. I'm just saying, Yeah. So, like, I tried to scare you, and you walked out this motherfucker stoic as Mark Antony himself. So, what the fuck are you gonna say? But yeah, that was interesting. And once again, like I said, I had a handful of teachers, probably 3 in high school, that I could have imagined easily giving us this assignment. The problem is that I don't think anyone would have been upset. I just think most people would have blew the assignment off, or just did the bare minimum they thought they could do to get by just to pass, and then, which is essentially blowing the assignment off just a little bit differently. So I don't know. I don't know if that speaks to a generational difference, or it just speaks to motherfuckers today ain't interested in looking deeper than I don't know, a puddle they step into anything.
Well, and it also could have been one person who got upset, but then you don't know how the administrators came to them. Well, how did you feel when you were asked to write that? Did that give you bad feelings? You know?
Well, I can tell you this. The minute a kid walked out of a class and said a teacher said anything about a school shooting, I'm sure ears perked up, especially in Florida. I'm thinking of like when I was going to school in Orange County 30 plus years ago.
Yeah.
And like you couldn't joke about certain things. Like you didn't joke about like bringing drugs to school in earshot of teachers, because you and all your property would end up in the fucking office and they'd be demanding to search your shit. And that was middle school. So that's barely into your double digits age. Yeah. So, I mean, I can't imagine they got any more lenient about what they let go and consider a joke. So.
Oh, this podcast has been too much tonight. Like I said, no jokes.
How about a big, long, veiny dick joke? Ah, you thought I forgot, didn't you?
I did. Damn it. I did. I even set myself up for that. There you have it.
There you go. There's a checklist
Thanks.
and we got it.
All right, all the topics checked off. Dick joke.
I don't know. I'm trying to until Chris fucking started throwing out just dick fucking comments and calling them jokes. I was sitting here trying to think of something to go out funny on. Now I'm just like, well, the mood's ruined. There's veiny dick all over the place, so no one gives a fuck anymore. So it's all fun and games until the fucking the dick vein on the Snickers starts throbbing.
We still got to think of another nickname for Jess's vagina.
Can't it just be vagina in general? Does it have to be my specific?
Well, we had pizza oven. Well, yeah. How about a vagina? Yes.
Just like overall, yeah. We don't need to make this personal,
right? I don't know. We'll try another day. You can't force. You can't force.
Viewer comments. Y'all throw out your best vagina names.
You can't force the vagina humor. It's an assault. Anyway, follow us on social media at GenExhaustedPod on Twitter. While it's still there, I guess, and Facebook. While we're allowed to be there, and share the show, retweet it, whatever the fuck you do on whatever platform you're on. Go to ChristopherMedia.net, hit the PayPal button if you'd like to help us out with commerce, and wherever you listen to the show. If you are able to rate and review us, we would appreciate it. Please and thank you. It helps people find the show. I appreciate you listening, and we'll catch you next week.
Later, guys.
See ya.
Somebody put me together. Laying face down on the ground, my fingers in my ears to block the sound, my eyes shutting tight to avoid the sight, anticipating the end, losing the will to fight. Droplets of yes and no in an ocean of maggie. From the bottom it looks like a steep incline, from the top another downhill slope of mine, but I know the equilibrium's there. Indecision clouds my vision, no one listens because I'm somewhere in between my love and my agony. You see, I'm somewhere in between. My life is
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.